You're listening to the Pillaging Podcast, proud member of the Crow's Nest Podcast Network, companion podcast to PJ4F.com, the #1 podcast in Raider Nation. Tune in every week wherever podcasts are found. Call in and leave a message to be played on air at 408-909-PJFF. This episode is brought to you by DC4L Custom Tees. Check them out at DC4LCustomTees.com. It's time to pillage another podcast. I'm your host, Kenny Stapler. What are you drinking, Bobby?
Oh, man, dude, I got something set up right here because I figured, my boy Che, I know he's going to be listening, so I wanted to get something right for him. Hold on. Yeah.
Sounds good, must be good.
Got this Guava Jardin, that's right. It's Guava Garden. It's a sour. What we got? I don't even know what the hell the damn percentage is. 6% by alcohol. See that? So it's actually a sour that got a little bit of a kick. Normally these sours are like 5. They're very light. So I figured, you know what? We're coming somewhere where it's warm. Need something refreshing.
Yeah, welcome. While Bobby takes a sip, welcome Bobby to the show. Che got swept up in the ice raids at the game on Sunday. I'm playing. Che couldn't make it in tonight. Che's schedule is changing up. He's adjusting. He will be back soon. So be nice to Bobby while he fills in here and keeps the seat warm. We will be talking to Che tonight, though.
That's right.
Allegedly.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully his call clears.
Yeah.
Because, I stopped taking all those collect calls, bro.
The guava's nice, man. The guava Jardin's nice. You brought these around before. I don't think we've ever tried them on the show, though. But you and I are on that sour kick, bro.
You know what? You put me onto that, dude. I was always very hesitant about the sours just because, beer, sour. I mean, beer's already kind of a little funny on its own. But sour beer, I was like, man, I'm not sure about that. But you got me into it, and you basically explained it to me. If you ever had a michelada, I mean, you could stand the sour, and you put lemon in micheladas, and I was like, you know what, you actually make a damn good point. So I opened up my mind, and man, these sours are coming left and right, and they're fucking delicious.
Yeah, well, I've been known to be accused of being sour at times. Angria says I'm an intimidating person. She's like, you're just like a rolling ball of butcher knives. Like, I don't think so, man. I'm a pretty laid back dude, especially when I'm booming. That has 2 meanings on this show, doesn't it?
Oh, yes. Always down for a cup of tea around here.
So welcome to the show, Bobby, man. We're going to get into it. Let's set the table first. Just to remind you guys, we are sponsored by DC4L Custom Tees. Make sure you check him out. He's got a very nice Josh Jacobs shirt that came out about 2 weeks ago. We'll be talking about some Josh Jacobs very soon. Check out that shirt. Cop it. We got a very special deal from OneNationFanwear.com. It's free shipping when you enter PJ4F at checkout. OneNationFanwear.com. Enter PJ4F at checkout. Get that real nice free shipping.
Not only that, I'm not sure if you noticed, but Johnny got that new concert tee out. I'm not sure if you do.
Yeah, the light gray. It's a light gray tee, and his shirts are butter soft. It's light gray tee, and it has a Metallica graphic on it, but a Raider Nation.
That's right.
Style.
And on the back, it got that hit list.
The hit list, yeah.
So it got Johnny's little version of all the teams' names, as in the Queefs and the Donkeys and the New York jokes. Yeah,
it's pretty clean. The back of the shirt looks like a kind of like concert tour date listing, but instead it's a schedule for the 2019-2020 season. OneNationFanwear.com is really original stuff, very creative things, a lot of retro stuff. If you like retro sports apparel, everything with the Raiders flair to it, though, I definitely recommend you check it out. Hats, men's, women's, outerwear, everything that you can think of with a lot of style, man. A lot of style. So check out OneNationFanwear.com and send me some free shit, Johnny. Come on, man. Trying to plug that on the show. Right now I'm wearing that bootleg exclusive, though. And Bobby's rocking a DC4L custom t-shirt, too. Though those of you listening to us through your car speakers cannot see the t-shirt, but you can hear the crispiness.
That's right. You hear the crispiness of being clean. But if you were here, you'd be feeling the softness of the tee.
We want to recommend you guys check out the exclusive live tailgate pregame show. We'll be broadcasting live 2 hours after gates open, every home game. And I think we'll be broadcasting live from New York at some point too. So, last week we started off at 10 o'clock. So normal 1 o'clock kickoff, you can expect us to go live on YouTube at 10 a.m. Best way to catch us is to subscribe and smash that little bell and get the notifications. The notifications are key because out there at the tailgate, man, things shift, time flies. Our setup is intensive. Sometimes we're late. Sometimes ice be sweating us. And so that time could shift around. But generally speaking, we're trying to get going 2 hours after gates open. So set that little reminder. Tonight's show, we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about some quick hits from throughout the week, recapping Sunday night's game or Sunday afternoon's game against Kansas City Chiefs. Going to look ahead towards Minnesota. We're going to talk to Kane, some keys to the game with Kane for the Vikings matchup. And the recap will be joined by Che. And, of course, towards the end of the show, we will be taking your calls. And those of you watching live right now, when we go to the caller segment, feel free to pick up your phone and smash that 909-408-PJFF. That's 7533 on your cellular phone. And hit us up. If we're in the caller segment, I will pick up the phone and we will talk to you. Don't act brand new.
And that's always a fun one too, especially for the people out there that trying to not just to call in and say what's up, but just to call in and talk and shoot the breeze and see what your takes are, because we all got our own takes, especially WAP. I like when WAP calls in.
Mm-hmm.
Like I got fire takes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if I'm not doing the show, though, I don't really give a shit what your takes are. I'm just kidding. That seems to be the thing, though. Like, you go places and it's like, I just want to talk about something besides the Raiders right now. Dude. At some point, I don't know. Maybe I'm just kind of putting myself on blast there a little bit too much. But
no, you know what it is? It's just that where we are at, man. I'm not sure about you, but at my work, I'm surrounded by nothing but Niner fans.
Mm-hmm.
And it's annoying as hell, dude, because the only time they ever want to talk about negativity or want to talk about the Raiders is just when it's all about negativity.
Yeah.
So it's like, dude, like, get over yourself. Jimmy G ain't Jeebus. You guys are doing okay. You know, just chill out, bro. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like enjoy it. Don't think like you guys are going all the way.
Well, they beat the vaunted Bengals, bro. I know the Bengals were picked to be in the Super Bowl this year. I know they're really hyped up team, and they're very excited about that victory.
Yeah.
Had a really difficult matchup against the Steelers this weekend.
Oh, dude, straight out fucking Jackie Moon, you know.
All respect to them. They got a really rough schedule, a rough road this year, playing down there.
Life is rough.
At Great America. No, I'm just playing, man. If we ever run into each other, I love talking the Raiders. Let's talk Raiders all the time. Don't give me a browbeating, man. I'm not Derek Carr, bro. It's not my fault, yo. You know.
That's exactly what I say, man. It's like, dude, like, I'm just a fan, bro. I'm not the one making the moves or the calls out there. So just chillax.
You ready to talk about Raiders?
That's right. Let's do this.
All right, let's do it. Raiders take their first L of the year in their final matchup against the Kansas City Chiefs in the Oakland Coliseum. That's the last time we will ever see the KFC chefs in our home, bro, here in the Bay Area. So it is what it is, man. We took the L. We're going to talk about this at length. I just wanted you to know. The Raiders release offensive lineman Jonathan Cooper to make room for your boy, Richie Coffin Puncher Incognito, coming back to the fold.
You know what? He sometimes can be the final nail in the coffin. So, you know what? I'm excited to see him back.
I am too, man.
I'm excited. I remember him in the preseason.
Yeah.
I saw what he was doing just for those couple plays that he was in, and I was like, you know what? It's about time he gets some of that aggression out on the field.
Yeah, beasting. I think it was good this weekend. Gave up a pretty nasty sack on Carr. Let Chris Jones slip by him. I know he's a right guard, but shit like that's not going to happen when Incognito's in there. On the left side, at least. But I think Cooper's been holding it down all right. Actually, not Cooper, but Debbie has been over there, right?
Yeah, he has, dude. I'm surprised because I keep having to check the damn roster, and he's like, who the hell's this? Oh, Debbie, that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot we got this guy.
Yeah. So we'll see, man. We'll see. Incognito, definitely exciting guy with a lot of attitude, a lot of force, very smart offensive lineman, and he swaggers boisterously. You got to be excited about that. Ice raids, Raiders tailgates for bootleg merchandise. What's up, Bobby?
Dude,
I've seen you out there, bro.
I don't understand why you got to be looking at me like that, dude. All right, it wasn't bootleg, as far as I know. All right.
I seen you with the Super Bowl ring.
Hey, you know what?
At the tailgate.
That was just a couple of the Super Bowl rings that I had. I actually bought two of them. I got one for my toe and I got one for my hand. You know, you got to floss, dude.
You got that Super Bowl toe ring.
you got to floss from the bottom to the top. You know how it is, dog.
Hey, the Raiders deserve, well, I want to say they deserve a Super Bowl so bad, but we're so hungry for a Super Bowl. I want them bitches to be 4-knuckle rings when we get them, bro. When we get when we get our 4th ring, I want 4-knuckle ring.
Hey, well, you know what? Everyone's trying to go retro. You know, starting to wear the pants, the hair. Why not bring those rings back too? You know, got the dookie chains too.
Yeah.
You got to do it, man. Bring back the whole thing,
Let's get that championship dookie chain.
But you know what? Just don't bring back the fucking Jerry curls. That, man, last thing we need is fucking oil stains all over the place, dog.
You don't really see those anymore, bro. You don't see the Jerry curl.
Nah, but hey, you know what? It might come back. You never know. You might see one of these new rappers. What was his name? Blueface or some shit like that.
I don't know, dude.
Some crap like that. Yeah, I seen that weird kid, dude.
You're just hating, bro. I think the Jerry curl's a good look. Not very practical.
Not practical at
It's
all,
a cool
dude.
look, man. He look cool as fuck, bro.
How do you sleep? Like with your hand on your chin? Like, damn, I don't get it.
Follow the drip. Follow the drip. The Raiders also played their last game on dirt. Dirt was definitely an issue on Sunday. Saw a lot of people struggling with their footing. Some of these injuries I'm looking at right here could be a result of some of that stuff. I have to go back and look at where some of those actually happened. I know Riley kind of twisted himself up a little bit. Hip. I saw a lot of dudes going down. We saw receivers fall down a couple times on Sunday. So as much as like I try to romanticize the dirt and talk myself into liking the dirt, I really don't like the dirt.
The only thing
It's a bad look.
The only thing I like about the dirt, honestly, is just the nostalgia part of it. Just because I remember being a kid and playing in those fields, but that's honestly it. I mean, when everybody else is, upgrading and have full on, grass and not just, scraping the entire right side of your arm, just because you went down right quick.
Yeah.
It's definitely a better idea to get some grass. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
Shit.
Man, the only thing I'm glad is that we no college kids and playing in that rubber fucking dirt shit, dude. That was like whatever the hell it is, man. That stuff's terrible for them.
Get out.
Hell no, dude.
Scary. You remember the old school indoor, I think it was the Twins baseball stadium? The ball would take hella crazy bounces and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was like cement under there. They said it was diving for an outfield ball was taking your life in your hands, bro. The Raiders now set sail. Man, can I talk? Hold on. I think this guava.
I'm telling you, dude, it's that guava jardín. It's giving you guavesuras, bro.
The Raiders will now begin a long road stretch, which will see them pillaging abroad until they return home on November 3rd against the Detroit Lions. We'll see you there.
That's right.
We'll be there when you come back.
Hell yeah. We'll all be there. Holding it down, making those tacos, doing the chela run, and obviously running into our boy Malcolm, man.
Malcolm.
Malcolm.
We missed Malcolm this Sunday.
Wait, he didn't stop by?
He did not stop by.
Oh, man. He must have had some very important Malcolm-related business, bro.
So far, we are 1-0 this season when Malcolm is at the tailgate.
Oh, there you go. We got to get him out there more, dude. You might even have to fly him out to Minnesota, bro. I have a boy that's going out there right now who's actually took page from you guys and from Jen. Said that you ain't a real Raider fan unless you go out there and pillage someone else.
Yeah, that's what the Jen always says. The Jen says you are not an official card-carrying member of Raider Nation until you have pillaged an away game. And till he said that, I never thought about it, but it made perfect sense. And when I finally did so, my first away game officially was with him in Kansas City at Arrowhead. We went out there 2017. Did not go well. As you can remember, that was close to Jack Del Rio's final game, and pretty much that was the backbreaker with losing that game. We were officially out of the playoffs at that point. What was a long shot already, and I think that was the deciding factor right there. They went hard after John at that point, and I think it was, I don't remember which game it was, the following game or the prior game where they had Philadelphia on Thursday or Monday night, Sunday night. It was a primetime game. And that's where I think Mark finally linked up with John. I'm getting sidetracked. The chat just brought up Jalen Ramsey. Now, I didn't have this on our notes because I really didn't want to bring it up, but I will. Jalen Ramsey apparently on the trading block this week. Big talk. It's all over Twitter. Every fan is talking about it. Early reports is that Jacksonville wanted 2 first-round draft picks or a first-round draft pick plus for the all-pro cornerback Jalen Ramsey. Is that a deal that you would try to make, Bobby Wasabi?
2 First round picks?
Yeah.
Nah.
I've heard anywhere from first rounder plus to 2 first round picks.
Not 2 first round picks. Maybe 1 first round pick and something else, but not 2. One, the reason why I say this is because, you know, the draft it's a very exciting time. It's a very sexy time. Everyone's been watching, been paying attention to all these college kids, watching all the highlights, watching the exact same things, the combines. So you see who's out there and you see who someone could potentially be for our team. Does that actually mean they're going to be successful? No, dude. We've had those people that we've gotten that we thought were superstars in college and turned out to be complete duds.
I mean, this year's a perfect example. You get a guy that is a talent, Jonathan Abram, and now you've lost him for the entire season. You got 4 quarters out of him. It was spectacular, but now he's gone. You get a guy like Ramsey, he can get hurt too, but at least you know exactly what you're getting when you get him. I myself, I'm not in on this. I don't think that we're a cornerback away from being a champion. You know what I mean? From contending, I should say. I think Jalen Ramsey would be a huge asset to this team. It would definitely help the pass rush in terms of buying them time, but I don't think the pass rush is close enough that bought time would equate to greater sack production. I just don't see that. I don't see that happening. I think we need more pass rush, and I think we need wide receiver 1. Now, if a wide receiver 1 was on the market right now, and that was the asking price, that would be something that would really have me rubbing my chin, licking my chops. And as much as I'd love to see Jalen Ramsey in a Raider uniform, at this point, I just think it's careless. After the Martavis Bryant trade of last year, when you give up a third rounder, you give up a 3rd and a 5th this year to Antonio Brown, and basically, you're off-season clown show shit circus. You have to endure all that, and then it blows up in your face. Are you going to do it again just weeks later? And give up a first rounder this time? Is that really going to happen? I myself personally, I think that Antonio Brown thing, that first week we were happy to move on and just have that clean break. Screw it, let's go. Broncos run into a buzzsaw. They come into our building. They get torn alive. Raider Nation's fired up. That team has a chip on his shoulder. Yeah, there was no way in hell the Denver Broncos are going to win that game. I don't care what happened, right? Now that fades, right? We take the loss to the Chiefs, and I think you're going to start to feel that AB, the whole move, was just a bigger setback than folks realize. Now, there's people out there saying, well, the offense was designed around AB. That's not the truth, right? He wasn't there practicing the great majority of the time. That's why
True.
I think he had to sacrifice $500 to a million of that $30 million signing bonus off top because he participated in less than 85% of off-season activities. So that just, it speaks volumes. Like he was not there while the offense was really being installed, not as much as the rest of his teammates. So fine, the offense is supposed to work with the people that were practicing it, and it hasn't. It hasn't. We can critique the hell out of Jon Gruden's offense. We're not going to do that yet on this episode. I don't want to go there. But what I'm trying to say is the offense wasn't designed around AB, but the personnel was. Tyrell Williams was not intended to be a wide receiver 1. We did pick him up before we got AB. That did happen. But I don't think that Jones or Grant and Williams were intended to be the 1 and 2. I think landing AB and having Tyrell, the long strider, as a number 2, that's the compliment that you want right there. And Tyrell's doing okay. He's doing his best impression of a wide receiver 1 right now. But I don't know. We need more than that. And Grant's cool. And I'm kind of really just regurgitating what Sean said on the Blackout podcast this week. It just came out, I think, this morning. A really good show. Check that out. They're on episode 4. He's saying that too. He's like, Ryan Grant's like the new Seth Roberts. I think his hands are more reliable. He's not as good of a blocker, but in terms of just as far as standout and value and performance you're going to get out of him, it's just not going to be much. He's filling a jersey. He can consistently be who he is, and you're not getting that breakout. You're not going to see a Ryan Grant highlight this year. Although now that I just said that highlight's going to walk through that door. And I'm okay with that if I'm wrong, but I think so. That's where the struggle's at right now. And again, does Jalen Ramsey fix that? No, I don't think he does.
You know what? I definitely see where you're coming from because I've said it before. We shouldn't be having to rely on our secondary. Our secondaries are backup. That's what they're there for, to back us up, to back up that line right there, that defensive line. Because if the defensive line is doing their job, they should be out there just harassing, the quarterback. I mean, look what happened to Mahomes. He actually got hit a couple times. That was some BS with that Max Crosby penalty call, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, how the hell are you supposed to stop mid-air?
Yeah.
I don't get that shit, dude. So, like, half of the time it's like, are we playing with basketball rules now?
Yeah. And you look at the game, against KC, and again, we're going to break this down further in the next segment, but, just in terms of, again, Jalen Ramsey, we give up 28 points to them. We only scored 10. We shut them out for 3 quarters. Is this team capable of scoring 28 points? Well, we've seen them do it in the past. So you add a wide receiver 1 in there. Who knows what we score in that game? We have another option in there, another threat in there. I don't think having Jalen Ramsey in there definitely, automatically changes things. I think Conley played a decent game. The 1 touchdown catch that came against him was a great catch and a great throw. Of those 4 touchdowns, we'll talk about it. Of those 4, they weren't all blown coverages. So, I don't think that makes a huge difference in that game. And you can argue it the other way. I'm not going to get into that. I'm not mad if you do. I just see it differently. I think what we need is another offensive weapon, a game breaker, and the one that we don't have. I would have rather lost out on cash with AB and retain those draft picks, in my opinion. I think they could be more valuable. I think the front office did a good job in the draft from what we're seeing so far this last year. I like what we're seeing so far. We're getting production. You just mentioned Max Crosby, and now you got Keelan Doss back in the fold. He's undrafted, so all the way from number 1 down to that, for the most part, these guys are suiting up and playing, minus a few exceptions. Even Keyshawn Nixon got in there on Sunday. I mean, unfortunately, but he was in there.
Yeah, that's true, man, because we actually have a GM that actually knows what the hell they're doing as far as draft picks. It's not like it's John Gruden and Reggie making the picks. It's actually, we got Mike Mayock right there holding down the reins. And I could definitely see what you're talking about, where that extra pick could have definitely helped out with something else. I mean, look, we got Trayvon Mullins, 2nd pick.
Yeah.
And that kid's doing good, man. I mean, he's not like shining completely, but he's fucking doing good.
He's taking his lumps and he's showing some promise. He's doing what he should be for where he's at, right?
Exactly. And a lot of people weren't very happy about that pick, but it's actually he's actually producing something. He's actually showing something out there as well.
When's anybody ever happy about our draft picks, man? It's been a long time.
Everyone's never happy.
All right, so let's keep it moving, man. We're going to get into the injury update, at least as far as we know right now. It is Wednesday, September 18th at the time we record this. By the time you guys are listening to this, injury reports will be updated for Thursday. But let me give you guys what we have right now. I don't expect it to change too much. Of note is Trent Brown. He did not practice today. He's dealing with a knee injury. You guys probably saw that on the telecast. Dwayne Harris did not practice. Ankle. It looks, you know what? I didn't update the quick hits, but it looks, we got Martin from the Packers, and that's because it looks like this Dwayne Harris injury is probably a little more serious. I think he's going to miss some time. So you pick up, I believe it was Martin from Green Bay.
Yep.
Yeah, am I saying that right? So, another great return guy. So that's great to be able to go out and get him. I think they gave up a 6-rounder for that, but that's cool. He'll stick, and who knows, maybe, depending on how well he does, you give up a 6-round draft pick, maybe Dwayne Harris, they reach settlement, he doesn't come back. We'll see what happens there. Gabe Jackson obviously did not play. He's progressing nicely. He could be back as early as next week. Don't quote me saying that. I'm just repeating what I've heard and what probably most of you have heard already. But, Gabe Jackson, maybe a week early return. We'll see what happens this week. If they keep Carr clean this week and we pick up a W, Bobby, do you bring Gabe back a week early still? Or do you let him sit?
No, you still let him sit. Obviously, it's proven that the line can hold its own. So what's the point of having to rush somebody else from being injured? Honestly.
Well, this question gets more difficult because the point is, I believe, is the next game is against the Chargers. Nope, I'm wrong. I'm completely wrong. I'm looking at the schedule all wrong. I'm blowing it right now. It's the Colts. Yeah, I knew that.
Oh, okay. So. No, well, I would definitely sit him down and definitely have him just chill out and get healthy. Mm-hmm. My reasoning for that is because look what happened to Garrett Connolly. I believe, honestly, in my honest opinion, I feel a lot of the reasons why he blew his assignment, quote unquote, blew his assignment, was because of that neck.
Mm-hmm.
How the hell? I mean, he damn near broke his head off. Like, if you saw that video in slow mo, his chin literally touches his chest, and that's a big thing. The one thing they tell you in football that the coaches always scream at you is, you always keep your head up. You never want to mess up your neck. Never want to mess up your spine.
No.
And to come back a week after something serious like that, and you're literally running next to a guy that's running full speed, and you have to be able to turn around in order to not get that pass interference call. Yeah. So honestly, to have Jackson back quick like that, and if we can prove that we can win, sit him down.
Josh Jacobs dealing with a hip injury. I thought it was groin, but it's listed here on the Raiders.com as hip. Actually makes me feel better that it is not a groin. That's a tough one to come back from. So right now, limited in practice. I don't know. Do you limit Josh's carries on Sunday? Is the game going to dictate that? It's hard to tell at this point. I don't know how serious this injury is. Sounds like they expect him to play. Nelson, excuse me. Pardon me, Bobby. J.J. Nelson dealing with the ankle injury, also limited in practice. Curtis Riley with another hip injury, and Tyrell Williams with the hip pointer was also limited in practice. But expect all those guys to go. Right now, though, I'm hearing that Trent Brown is possibly not going to be a go on Sunday. But you're getting Incognito back. I don't know. Does Devy switch over to right tackle? Can he do that?
I believe he was already a swing, so he would be able to do that. It's just having to make sure that he gets plenty of practice and make sure that he can adjust his mind, because it is one thing from being from one side to the other. Not just that, just being from one position, from being a guard to a tackle.
Yeah, and just hope everyone else stays healthy, because that's when you're going to end up seeing somebody like Sharp or Parker in there. And though I tried rooting for Sharp, and he's, I don't know, both those guys, it's just not working out. I'm definitely not a fan of Brandon Parker, I'll say that much. Corey Legit still that knee is not legit, so it's quit. And then on to Minnesota, really did not practice. Ben Gideon and Mackenzie Alexander both did not practice. Everyone else was limited. And then Everson Griffin, full practice, and Mike Hughes back to full practice, dealing with an elbow and a knee injury, respectively. So the Vikings relatively healthy compared to us. And we got some starters that are already getting dinged up. And again, I blame that damn dirt, bro. Blame that dirt.
Well, I believe it was Jon Gruden who said that dirt gives us an advantage. Just like, the Heat gives Arizona an advantage.
Yeah, that's John's trying to make Kool-Aid out of baby piss.
That's right. Shit, dude. Hell no, dude. Dirt's fucking terrible, man. Dirt. The only time you should be playing on dirt is if that's like literally the only thing you have in the yard, and you guys are over there just running the ball and just tackling whoever the hell has the ball. Just old school rules, just to hit somebody.
Yeah.
Just to get that aggression out. That's the only time you should be playing on dirt.
If dirt gave you a serious advantage, every team in the league would have dirt. You know what I mean? There's a reason why we moved away from dirt infills.
I think that honestly is that what John does is he just grabs a little bit of that dirt. So whenever he goes up to whatever coach it is, he just throws it on their shoe. See, so instead of like actually like kicking the dirt on the shoe, if they're not close enough, he just throws it on their shoes. Just like a baseball coach.
Should kick some dirt up on the official.
You should, man. Why not?
Matter of fact, that's something we have to talk about.
Fact.
This is Silver and Black Fact segment brought to you every week by me. That's right. I'm the one sponsoring this segment.
Hey, you know what? Somebody got to do it, right?
So let's start with that. It's a good segue. 7 penalties for 52 yards on Sunday. Not too bad. Not as tidy as it could be, but we've seen much worse in the past. The one on Max Crosby, I know it's a penalty to fall on the quarterback, but if you actually saw the context of the play, I don't know what the hell else he was supposed to do in that instance. Mahomes pump faked the shit out of him, though.
Yeah.
He sure did.
Like I said, he's over here playing with NBA rules, man. I honestly thought it was James Harden for a second. I was like, what the hell am I watching? Dude? I was like, when the hell did James Harden fucking suit up?
I just pictured that frizzy-headed Mahomes with the James Harden beard.
That beard's never going to come off. He said he was going to, shave it off if he ever won or some shit?
Yeah.
Hey, that thing's never coming off. He's going to die with that beard on.
Beard's weird. Oakland tallied 121 yards on 19 carries Sunday. 51 of those yards came on one long Josh Jacobs run in the third quarter. Josh Jacobs averaged 8 yards per carry for the game.
Fact.
Big facts machine, as Polygon likes to say. Josh Jacobs receives PFF's highest rating amongst all rookies and running backs through the first 2 weeks of the season. This comes from PFF. The Raiders haven't had much to cheer about over the last few months, but the first 2 games of Josh Jacobs' career should at least give some form of hope. After he churned out 63 rushing yards after contact and 6 forced missed tackles in week 1, the Bama product rushed for 83 yards after contact via 3 forced missed tackles in week 2. and he has now earned an 87.8 rushing grade that ranks first among all NFL running backs with at least 20 rushing attempts so far this season. So make what you want about the PFF grades, but when one of our guys is at the top, that just feels good.
Hell yeah, dude. You always got to give it up because they always talk shit.
Fact.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? That's all I got to say is...
KC was held to 31 yards on 22 carries. Not too shabby, but they were bombing that ball in the third quarter, man. Bombing it. Carr became the Raiders' all-time passing leader on a 16-yard pass to Darren Waller in the second quarter, breaking the mark of 19,078 yards set by Hall of Famer Ken Stabler. Derek Carr now has 19,196 yards in his career.
Fact.
Left tackle Colton Miller allowed just one quarterback pressure against KC. Per PFF, no hits, no sacks allowed. Frank Clark rushed the passer 36 times versus Oakland and had 0 sacks, 0 hits, and 0 hurries. Chris Jones, however, well, he had a pretty nice little game. Those are your silver and black facts for the week.
Fact.
Yeah, so we're going to take kind of a short little break right here while we get Che on the phone. And when we come back, we're going to recap the good and the bad of this last week's matchup with the Kansas City Chiefs. Stay tuned.
That's right.
And we're back on the air and on the phone line right now is the beloved Che.
I know
What's good, y'all?
Well, how you living, man?
Hey, man. You know, I'm living. I'm alive. For those of you who are wondering and worried where I am, I'm at home with the family.
I told him,
had to do the family thing.
I told him you got swept up in them ice raids at the game on Sunday.
It seriously sounds like he's calling from county, bro. I'm like, hey, you know what, Che? If you're not calling from county, hold up today's newspaper, bro.
Yeah, some we were covering during the quick hits. There was ice raids sweeping the tailgate on Sunday. They were looking for actually bootleg merchandise. They recouped several $1,000s worth of bootleg merchandise. So. But Bobby got away with his bootleg Super Bowl ring.
That's right. Super Bowl, the second Super Bowl ring right there, the one versus the Eagles. And you know what? I was flossing it the whole time. I didn't give a damn, dude. Hell yeah, man. It's not like I'm ever going to be able to touch that ring.
Yo, but listen, what they're fucking up, man. Why are they raiding the tailgates, man? If you're going to really look for the bootleg merchandise, you got to go be out on Coliseum Way, man, before the game, dog.
Che will attest to this. I attempt to trade some we'll just call it merchandise of my own for one of those beautiful knockoff Super Bowl rings, and he wasn't having it, man. He was like, "No, man, these are $20." I was like, "You know damn well those things are $2 when you buy them. I'm trying to give you $10. We both come up, dog. What's good?" And he was like, "No, I was all right. Hey, I ain't no sucker. I'm just trying to let you know you can't play me." Che, man, the reason why we're calling you is we got to break down this Kansas City Chiefs game.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it stings a little bit. I got some notes here. We can go off of that. Positive note, Raiders held KC scoreless for 3 quarters. On the flip side, Kansas City held the Raiders scoreless for 3 quarters. So a lot of people throwing that first stat around and neglecting the second one, but it was basically a tale of 2 quarters, man. But this is the good.
It really was, man.
Let's talk about some of the good, and then we'll get into the bad. But let's talk about the good, the silver lining in all of this. Let's shed some light on it, Che and Bobby. I thought, for one, let's just start here with basics. I thought, for one, the tackling in this game was good. You know, the plays we got burned on were the deep shots. But overall, I like the way that this team is tackling through weeks 1 and 2. We haven't talked about it yet, but I really like the way this team is tackling. And solo tackles, open field tackles, looking really good. When it comes to the rush game, it's everybody to the ball, hats to the ball. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tackling like some real Raiders.
I mean, do you see PJ actually, slowing the hell down? And that was one of my biggest critiques from him from last year, is that he would just be too excited because he's a rookie. You know, most rookies are very pumped to be out there, and he would always overshoot his assignment. He would always overshoot the person carrying the ball, whether it be the running back or the quarterback. And so to actually see him run up and actually pump his legs, pump his feet for a little bit, and see where the hell Mahomes is going, not allowing him that little gap so he can actually just cut through that seam and just take off and either pass it or just run wild. I really, really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
You know what, man? I have to agree with you, Bobby. I was, I went back and looked at the fucking game, and it wasn't fun watching the game over. But PJ stood out, man. PJ stood out. You know, he had some pressures on the quarterback. He got his hands on Mahomes a few times, and against the run, he was tough, man. And I think, we could agree that the whole team was tough against the run, but PJ stood out. He really did stand out this game, and of course, we're all left with a sour taste in our mouth. But there's some highlights, man. There was some highlights in that game, and I think we could build off of that.
Yeah, the one that sticks out is the 51-yard run by Josh Jacobs. Him just, again, a week 2 reminder that I'm a first-round pick. Some of y'all was salty that when they picked me, but I'm here. I'm a feature back. I'm going to be an MVP for this team this year. You know, not in the league, but for this team, he's an MVP for us. And he's really a difference maker. And he took some licks. And, look at week 1. He took his licks, and he was back at practice on Wednesday, even after a heavy workload, and follows up, with the majority of the carries here on Sunday. So, Josh Jacobs, another silver lining in this game, thought he played really well. What I like to see is them getting Josh Jacobs involved in this offense in more creative ways, design route running, more catches out of the backfield. I think Josh Jacobs is a multi-dimensional weapon. I don't know if they're easing him into the offense or what it is, or maybe they're just saving some wrinkles for later. But I think we have yet to see. It's just the tip of the iceberg for Josh Jacobs.
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Can't disagree with that, dude.
Speaking of other rookies that I thought flashed in this game, Max Crosby gets to the quarterback twice. We brought it up once already. Gets the roughing the passer call, which by the book he deserved it, but the eye test tells me there was nothing else he was going to do, man. Mahomes. To his credit, Mahomes had him on his tippy toes, but he pump faked. He held onto that ball. To me, you're subject to get hit, bro.
No.
Yeah, man. I think that was a nonsense fucking call. Obviously, we were in the stadium when it happened, and we fucking lost our minds when it happened then. And then I watched the fucking game again, and I fucking lost my mind a second time, dog, because I was like, this is bullshit, man.
We lost our minds.
This is a fucking bullshit call.
We lost our minds around 11:45 that morning, but I know what you're talking about. And that was a third down. I believe that was a third down, so that extended the drive for them. And unfortunately, they don't score on that drive, but still. Or did they?
Man. No, they didn't score, man, because we ended up shutting them down. That was still in the first quarter. I think it was towards the end of the first quarter.
Yeah.
And then they got another series that started right at the end of the first quarter, and then they finished off. That's when they started their fucking run in the second quarter. The first play of that second quarter was a bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
that's where it went to shit.
Yeah, and then he gets to Mahomes again in the next game. He gets a hurry on him, or later in the game he gets a hurry on him, and Mahomes has to throw up a duck. It falls incomplete. So Max Crosby getting to the quarterback, man. I think he's starting to flash. He's starting to show all that effort and hard work and that maximum volume in practice is really paying off for Max. So that's a nice bright spot on this game.
Definitely.
Well, not only that, but he has to prove himself too. Mm-hmm. I believe he's listed as a third stringer as well. So, he has to make sure that, hey, look, check it out. I'm here for a reason. Mm-hmm. Y'all picked me up. Not only that, I can rap somewhat. So he's like, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and out there and make those hits. Yeah. And that's exactly what I wanted to see. I said I wanted to see people harassing fucking Mahomes, and that's the one thing that I love seeing is that he was getting that pressure in there. I did not care to see all that time that he had. That's the one thing that pissed me off a lot, dude. Yeah. I was like, we just got to harass him more. The backfield, they got it. They handled it. They got it covered up. But it's that line right there, man. It's
the line. The defensive ends, for who they are, for what we have, they're doing their job. Mayowa gets in there for a sack this game. You saw Moreau in the
I think he's credited for a sack and a half, dog.
Sack
I think
and
he
a
was
half.
credited for a sack and a half.
Yeah, currently right now, I think 4th in the league with sacks at 3.5. So not too shabby right now. I mean, I'd imagine the Packs are probably going to move away from him as time goes on, but who knows? Maybe not. Maybe Mayo was a nice little come up in the offseason. None of these guys are world beaters, but they're doing their job. I'd like to see more pressure from the interior, and I would have liked to see more blitz, but that's again what we saw in this game is the Chiefs going 4 or 5 wide and basically eliminating that blitz. And when the Raiders are playing man, you can't afford that. That's why Al Davis didn't blitz a lot, right? A lot of man to man.
Right.
They couldn't give up a guy. Now when you're 4 or 5 wide, what are you going to do? So, Andy Reid, man, he's a good coach. You got to give it up to Andy Reid.
Even though he talks shit about our fucking stadiums and shit, dude.
Yeah, even though he coaches with a chicken bucket on his head. Good
old Wilford Brimley.
Hey, eat your oatmeal, bro. Eat your oatmeal.
Diabetes.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, there were some positives in this game. I just want to remind people that are listening right now and maybe throwing phones out the car. First of all, get good clearance. You don't want that phone to hit the car behind you. Get that off to the side of the road. But I want to remind people, this is week 2. This team isn't there yet. We've been telling you that going into the season. We are very excited. We think this team will show progress this year. We think we'll be competitive this year. But I didn't have us winning this game against Kansas City. I don't think any.
No,
of
you
us
didn't.
No,
you didn't. You called that. You said that right before the game. Actually, in the live stream from the tailgate.
Yeah.
You said you felt we were going to lose this game, and by God, Kenny was right. So we were all looking at you with the fucking evil ass eyes, though. But
I did say that we would lose 20-31 on a field goal to close out the game. That was just me being dramatic. It didn't get close to that, but we did lose. Now, I don't think many people really expected us to win the game. Take away that dopamine rush that came from beating the Denver Broncos on Monday night opener. Take that away. Go back before week 1. Did you really think we were going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs? I know you wanted us to. I know it felt good saying that. But I think you're tripping if you think that we're competing with the Kansas City Chiefs right now. We are not there yet. I think we're close, but we're not there yet.
I think the opportunities were definitely there, dog. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot that we left on the field. Offensively, you come into that third quarter and the team looked like we had an opportunity to get back in this game, and then the interception happens and just fucking kills us, right? The no call on what was that? Who was that? Who was that coming across 19 running into the DB?
Oh, Grant.
And they called pass interference. There you go, Grant. It was Grant coming across.
And
they called pass interference on Grant.
Yeah.
And the ball's intercepted in the process.
And Grant's laying on the ground, bro. Grant's laying on the ground, bro.
I still don't get that shit, dude.
Yeah, let's talk about that because we got to get into the bad. Let's talk about the 2 interceptions, man. That's one of them. And then the second interception, a fade route to Tyrell Williams. One thing we know, Derek Carr can throw a fade route. He can throw a fade ball. The play call was a run play. I believe it was first down.
Yes, it was.
I believe it was first down.
Yes, it was first down.
And that's why I blame Carr on this. Run the damn ball on first down. See what you get. I don't care if you don't like the look. You got Josh Jacobs back there. You got a bulldozer. Maybe you pick up a yard or two and you dial it back up on second down. He throws the finger signal to Williams. Somebody said, maybe Williams didn't see it. Maybe he interpreted it as a decoy. Maybe he just got confused real quick. Obviously didn't finish out the route the way it was meant to be, which left, the defender right where it needed to be. Williams was not in position to play DB and swat that away at the time. If he had been in position, he comes down with that ball. If he gets, if he blocks out, he plays a little basketball right there. He can come down with that. So I think that's on both. That's on the wide receiver and it's on Derek Carr. I believe somebody said that Derek Carr changed about 28 of the 60 play calls at the line on Sunday. Che, is that a case of Carr doing too much, or what do you think?
I mean, this is what we wanted to see from Carr, man. I mean, are we really going to complain that he's going to the line, he's seeing the defense, and he's trying to make the best call out there? I mean, I'm not going to complain about that. I'm going to complain about, are you checking to the right thing? So, like on that, go back to that specific interception. You got first and goal. We're about 2.5, 3 yards out, I think, and it is a run call, and they're bringing the house. Like, they're bringing the house. Everybody's up on the ball. Everyone's in the box except for the one corner that's out, matched up man-to-man with Tyrell Williams.
You got the one-on-one.
And he's got the one-on-one. He's got a man who's 6'4", and he's like, I can give my dude a chance, right? Now, the problem that I had with it, and I actually posted this on Twitter, I was like, why not check to a fucking slant? Because the safety was all the way up, and he was showing blitz on that left side, and he was the only man that could get back in position to even, interrupt a slant pattern, and he was coming the whole way. So I don't know if that's just not something that that wasn't an oddball that he had in his pocket, or I don't know what it was, but for him to throw the fade. When you have a bunch of empty field to your inside, that's the one criticism. I was like, why not check to a fucking slant pattern instead? But on the fade route, you got to blame Carr. You're going to blame Carr. We're going to hold him responsible, right? He's got to turn things around for us, and everyone's going to blame him. I'm not to the point where I'm over here on Twitter talking about, get rid of him. He's the worst thing ever, and we're never going to be anything with this guy. Why can't you guys see this? Nobody was saying that shit after Denver. Nobody on Twitter was talking all that yang after Denver. Okay, all of a sudden we lose a game, and it's back to the same bullshit that we hear all the time. We're never going to beat Mahomes with Derek Carr. Derek Carr is never going to be this. That's just stupid, man. You guys are playing one side or fucking the other. You guys are being extreme.
Yeah.
Just look at it for what it was. He made a call. It was the right call. Now, like you said, it's first down. So just fuck it. Run the ball. If it gets stopped, you got 2 more downs to play with, right? So that's the safe bet, right? You run the ball, and if you get stopped, you have 2 more plays to play with, right? Yeah. He calls the fucking fade route. He sees a smaller corner matched up on his 6'4" wide receiver. He thinks the wide receiver got the right call. And when the wide receiver makes his move to go outward, he does not fight the hands of the DB. Instead, the DB's right up in his chest, and we all know within 5 yards, it's not fucking pass interference.
Yeah.
So they're not going to throw that flag. So he holds them up, and he's able to actually push off of Williams and get himself in a position to pick the fucking ball off.
Yeah. Hardcore's in here.
It's a shitty situation.
Yeah, Hardcore's in here telling me the run would have been stopped, but it's not a turnover on downs, dog. And you got to protect the football. So I get that. It's first down. Hardcore. It's first down. But we're splitting hairs here. I mean, we just talked about it 3 different ways. Whether it's the slant route, whether it's Williams. To be fair, it was Williams getting his ass chewed on the sideline. It was not Derek Carr. So. We're splitting hairs here, but yeah, that's a rough one. You make that score, it's 28-17. You're down by 11. You're now in the game. Yeah. So that's tough, man. That was a major, major turning point. Let's talk about KC's touchdowns, man. The first one came against man defense. I believe it was in the cover 0, 5 wide. Everybody playing shallow. You had one guy left up top, and it just, I don't know if they were worried about Kelsey right there, or really what was going on, but for what they were showing, for what they were showing, that defense was playing way too shallow.
Yeah. Well, the one thing they were trying to avoid is Kelsey matching up with what's his name, with Joseph.
Yeah.
And so I'm pretty sure that's what most likely happened, is that everybody was just focused on Kelsey right there.
Then you had the motion across the formation. You had 4 wide receivers to the field side. It was odd. It was an odd setup, man. That was definitely Andy Reid doing work right there. But the defense, somebody's got to stay back. Someone's got to stay back and protect. What were you going to say, Che? I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, if I'm thinking of the right one, I believe the first one was kind of like it started off kind of like an outward and then post move, right? So the receiver kind of runs straight. And then he hits like a little hitch, like he's going to run an out, and then runs to the post. And the whole time, and we had perfect view of it, unfortunately, right? From our seats, we're looking right downfield and we're seeing this whole shit happening.
Like Madden.
And yeah, you know, and so we saw it happening. We saw this dude just run directly behind the safety. And then I'm looking at the video and I see that our safety does not fucking react. He does not react in time. He's waiting for that receiver to make his move towards him before he starts to get deep. And by then, the motherfucker goes right by him. Mm-hmm. So I think it's one of those things where, yes, Andy Reid he's spreading us out, he's doing his thing, and he's got a whole bunch of fucking options for Mahomes. 2, maybe we need to get a little bit better pressure on Mahomes, right? And then 3, you got a safety who did not react when he saw what was happening. The guy's coming right at you. What are you waiting for to start breaking? What are you waiting for to actually get out of your fucking like crouch? Because he was taking slow pedals back. It wasn't like he was in a back pedal, like in a strong back pedal. He was like in the middle of like a slow little kind of like back pedal, and then he turns. By the time he turns, dude's by him.
Yeah, and again, that's part of that's the gravity that Kelce creates, but just had way too many guys worried about Travis Kelce on that play. That's Kelce effect, I guess, a little bit. You're right there. The other thing I didn't like on that play is I saw very little to no communication in the defensive backfield during that motion. Nobody calling each other out, nobody getting each other in position. I don't know if that's effective. Abram not being there, but you got LaMarcus Joyner on the field. You got Vontaze Burfict on the field, I think, on that play. You got two, defensive veterans. You got a captain there. Somebody say something. I need to hear somebody talking. So that was tough. And then next up, we give up a 3rd and 20 for a touchdown, which is really just, Raiders defense has struggled to get off the field historically here in the last 5,000 years, dating back to the old Bresnahan days, the old bend but don't break defense. And I mean, that's just the epitome of it, right? 3rd and 20, and you're to give up 6.
Right, but how many of us fucking lost our goddamn minds when we always fucking went into that prevent defense, right?
I know. Oh, I know.
That fucking prevent defense is what we needed on that goddamn play, and it's the one thing that we used to hate back in the day, man.
I mean, we needed no prevent defense after that tuck rule. And I don't want to be
shit.
We could have won that game,
right?
I'm saying still could have won that game. The touchdown to Kelce.
Why you got to bring up old shit, Kenny?
Well, that's. Did you see Charles Woodson interviewing Tom Brady?
That's right. He did bring up that tough question.
Yeah. So Charles Woodson interviewed Tom Brady this week and asked him, "Was it a fumble?" Goddamn right, it was a fumble.
And of course,
Charles Woodson's been on Tom Brady's ass for since that fucking play happened. He's giving him shit every day of his life. I guarantee you that much, man.
Charles
he just wanted to try to get him on air saying that shit.
Charles Woods is popping out of the toilet tank in the morning. It was a fumble, but coming out the bushes, it was a fumble. He's everywhere, man. The 3rd touchdown to Travis Kelce, I mean, again, nearly undefendable. That was a nice pass and catch. And again, the 4th
I mean,
touchdown.
And you know what? Even in that catch, there was decent defense, man. The defenders are on him. They're close by. He got a little step on him. That's why he was able to get that ball in there. Yeah. Safety comes over, hits him, and he's bobbling the fucking ball as he's almost going out of bounds.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe a split second sooner he gets there, hits him a little sooner, maybe that ball fucking pops out. Maybe we don't got that fucking touchdown, right? Maybe it's 21 and it's, it's different. It's a different game. It was different feel, definitely, right?
Yeah, it was a spectacular catch, though. I mean, you got to give it up.
No, yeah. Hey, you got to hand it to him, man. His concentration to fucking pull that bitch in, even though he was fucking getting hit and he's falling down, That's why they're the fucking offense that they are, man.
Shorty's in the chat calling me out right now. He said Kenny's like Facebook bringing up oh shit. Yeah, you ever get one of those Facebook memories that just hurts? You're like, oh man, didn't he start my day like that, bro?
1 year ago,
I thought I deleted all those old pictures of my ex. And then the final touchdown. The final touchdown.
You gotta delete those goddamn pictures, Kenny. You gotta delete those goddamn pictures, man. Yeah, how you gonna leave them on your Facebook so they can fucking remind you later, man?
That's a good reason why I haven't been on Facebook in like 5 years. Although I got my Kenny Stapler account up now, so if you're on Facebook, Search Kenny Stapler. And we could be friends. Final touchdown by Demarcus Robinson. Again, another incredible throw and catch. Conley got juked early in the route, but I liked Conley's. He showed ability to close right there. He had a nice burst of speed to catch back up, gets in front, but gets a hand in even, but still wasn't enough to stop.
That was close. I mean, that was close, man. He could have pulled that fucking ball out of his hands, and it could have been an interception. You know, it's very, very close. He had that hand all up in there, and just by the miracle fucking God, he held on to that bitch.
So I mean, here's the thing. 4 touchdowns in the third quarter. 2 of those just nasty blown coverages. The other 2 somewhat contested, I would say. Contested, as it were. Take away those 2 blown coverages, and we're not looking too terrible in that game. And again, a lot of that both of those plays were FUBAR before the snap, in my opinion. Adjustments could have been made mid-play, but it just didn't like the look of it. Watching it back on the film, just didn't like the look of it from Jump Street, bro. Again, yeah. So that's the 4 touchdowns right there, and then on the 3rd and 9 play, Sammy Watkins not even covered. Again, key third downs in this game. We had him dead to rights a couple of times. That 3rd and 20 just really sticks out, in the 3rd and 9 with just completely uncovered Sammy Watkins from Jump Street. Again, pre-snap, just not.
That was
it.
Right. Yo, are you talking about the touchdown?
No, well, yeah.
No, Sammy Watkins didn't get no score on us.
No. That
was me.
Not the score. No, just the conversion right there. Just the conversion right there.
Oh, okay. My bad.
I had it in my notes just because Watkins completely uncovered on that play. No defender on him whatsoever.
Yeah.
And then and then obviously the 2 interceptions which we covered. I mean, that's the good and the bad in this game. And I'm even trying to make something good out of those 4 touchdowns. 2 of them being blown and 2 of them being contested. Again, take away those blown coverages, some of those pre-snap errors, and the game's a lot closer. Maybe a different outcome. Who knows? Maybe they're not pressing so hard there. Maybe Carr's not trying to force audibles on first down. At the goal line.
And yeah, there was those penalties that were called against us, and a lot of them were very deflating, very, very morally deflating, because there's times where we're basically going on a roll and all of a sudden that cool flag.
Yeah.
But you got to understand and remember, folks, is that we didn't get that many penalties. KC actually, I believe, got 10 penalties for I don't even know how many damn yards, like something like 50 yards, I think, some shit like that.
Yeah, I got it right here. It was actually so we had 9 for 52 yards, and KC ended up with, where are we at here? Right here, 10 for 114 yards. So twice as many yards on penalties. But when you're throwing rainbows,
but you know what, man,
that matters.
It's the timing of those penalties too, though. The timing of those penalties is what fucking matters. We're getting fucking penalties on on defense on a fucking 3rd and whatever, or shit like that extends plays, or that fucking kills us. That fucking kills us. And granted, a lot of those weren't fucking, like, we're arguing that, I don't know about those calls. Like, some of those fucking calls are bullshit, But it is what it is. It is what it is.
It is what it is, bro. But, I mean, I think just to underline all of this is a Week 2 matchup against the Kansas City Chiefs. Clearly a better team, clearly better personnel. And it was an embarrassing 3rd quarter of football. It was an underwhelming second half. But it was not an embarrassing 4 quarters of football. This is a game we could bounce back from. This team's definitely back with a chip on their shoulder, with something to prove this week. They go on the road. We already know what Jon Gruden's feeling is about this road stretch. We've heard him in the press conferences. He looks disgusted. Imagine what he's saying in the locker room about this to get the team fired up. They're going to want to set the tone early. Minnesota is a team that can hurt you. They got Diggs, they got Dalvin Cook. They got their players. They got
Thielen.
They got Thielen on your fantasy squad.
That's right.
But you know, they took an L last week to the Packers. In fact, they've started off their season very similar. And we're going to break down the Vikings game with Kane. But what I'm saying is, I think this team can bounce back this week. I'm not going to write this in pen as a W. I'm not going to tell you that tonight. This is a game we could very well lose. But again, I think this matchup right here is a truer litmus test for the Oakland Raiders coming up, because this is a team that's very similar to them in a lot of ways, in my opinion. I think they are slightly better personnel-wise, but Kirk Cousins, you can draw comparisons to him and Carr right now at this point in their careers. I think they both have the skills to succeed, but it's just, you know, which one shows up, and the fact that both of them don't seem to show up in big games. So you can draw a lot of parallels between both of these teams. I think that's fair to say. So this is a truer matchup. Yeah. I think Denver, we're starting to see, they won, or they took an L, right? They're 0-2. Yeah, they lost to the Bears this weekend. So, the Broncos are who we thought they were. I was telling you going into the season, I'm not afraid of the Broncos at all. I think, again, Flacco is an upgrade, but that team just, it's run by Mr.
Hey,
Ray,
but
bro. It's run by a goddamn equine human being, bro. Horse people are real, dog. Talk about these as horse people. There's horse people out there. There's proven evidence. The CIA, the FBI, all have documents and files on horse people living in the Northwest region, and also reported to be general manager of the Denver Broncos.
It's all the water filters.
The frogs are turning their kids into homosexuals, people. Make sure you buy our supplements right now, made with genuine nuclear radioactive materials leaked straight from Chernobyl. We got a brand new ship in today.
Invest in gold.
Infowars.com. I'm probably going to get sued for that. So, I mean, so you're riding high off the win against the Broncos, but who did you really beat? That's why Bobby and I were talking before the show started. You pump the brakes, Niner fans. I mean, it's not like you've I know you got this gauntlet of horrific teams that you've had to beat. The Buccaneers, they're Super Bowl champions, by the way, the Buccaneers.
All the way.
They are Super Bowl champions. It was 18 years ago.
Hey, they're extra happy, man. They're extra happy, man. Let them enjoy it while it lasts. Yeah. I had some Niner fans talking shit to me earlier this week, talking about there's nothing better than a Niner win and a Raider loss. I was like, all right, yo. You guys have fun with that. But no, listen. To touch on the Broncos, the Broncos did almost just beat the Bears, and the only thing that saved the Bears' ass was our old kicker Eddie Pinero, man. So the Bears ain't been doing much on fucking offense. So maybe this London game looks a little different for us from what we expected. But the Minnesota game. I kind of feel like Minnesota's offense is built for our defense to handle them. They're a run-heavy fucking defense.
My nipples just.
And right now, what we're doing the best at is run defense. Our run defense is pretty stout right now. Yeah. It's been pretty successful the last 2 weeks. Now we haven't seen maybe a running back like Dalvin Cook, and maybe an offensive line like Minnesota has. Mm-hmm. So maybe that changes. But your remarks on Cousins, I'm pretty sure Minnesota would fucking take Carr over Cousins right now, dog.
He was.
He's been shitting the bed. He's been shitting the bed really
it's
bad.
Time to change the sheets of Minnesota. Hey,
yeah.
He's like
Bobby how many fucking fantasy points Thielen's gotten for him of late, man? Because I know fucking Stephon Diggs ain't getting me shit.
Nope, that's it, dude. It's all about Thielen, bro. That's why I was like, you know what? That's what we gotta pay attention to. We gotta pay attention to Cook and fucking Thielen, man. Just the run, which we got on lock, and now we just gotta pay attention to the tight end, which this last game showed that if our line doesn't put any pressure, as I keep saying over and over, then it puts that much more pressure on the secondary. Yeah. But Thielen.
Hey, their tight end ain't doing shit either, dog.
I was going to say,
Thielen
ain't no Kelsey.
He's been good in the past, but he hasn't been doing shit for them this season. And that's because of the fucking game planning that Minnesota has been doing. They're run heavy. They've switched from a heavy passing team to a run heavy team now that Dalvin Cook is fucking healthy. And I don't really think they fucking trust Cousins, man.
No,
I just really don't think they trust Cousins to do what they fucking brought him there to do in the first place. So they'd rather take the fucking ball out of his hands and not have him pass fucking all game long. The first game, I think he only threw fucking 10 passes total.
Kirk Cousins.
10 passes total.
Kirk Cousins is shit in the bed like Grandpa Joe from Wonka. Charlie Chocolate Factory.
That's why he never got out of the bed.
How you gonna shit
And
the
then
bed
get
with
up
6
all
other
fucking
people in
happy,
it?
clicking his fucking heels, bro. We won. We got the golden ticket.
That's how they did it back during the Depression era, bro.
Yo, if I was those 5 other people chilling in bed, I would have jumped up and beat the shit out of him. I was like, why don't we get to go, man? Why don't I get a chocolate bar? I got to sit in this bed like a goddamn invalid all damn day. And all of a sudden, you can walk now? Where the hell you been at?
Well, no chocolate bar, but he got fudge.
Why don't you go steal us some bread, dog?
He's been sneaking loaves of bread, man. They didn't realize it, man. All of a sudden, he's the only one that has the fucking energy to get up out the fucking bed.
How you
That
jerk
motherfucker
off, how
was
you jerk off
stashing
in the
loaves
bed
of bread
like that,
underneath
bro?
this goddamn pillow.
Where you keep the Fifi in the bed like that, bro?
I would say just don't hit no one's elbow and you're fine.
Oh, damn. You gotta wake up like in the
That's the
middle
dark.
of the night.
Hey, that's the dark side of that tale, bro. That's the dark side of fucking Charlie's life, bro. You don't want to fucking talk about who's emptying the bedpans for all his fucking grandparents, though.
That's the underbelly of the chocolate factory. That's the dark, seedy underbelly of Charlie's life, bro.
That's what you never saw. That's what Johnny Depp was trying to touch there. He was trying to get in touch with that, trying to show the world, man. But Disney didn't want to see that.
Man, Che, I'm glad we got to talk to you, bro. Bobby's over here. He's holding
Me
it
too,
down,
dog.
man. He's holding it down.
I'm trying, bro. I'm trying.
Oh,
man.
I know. I have faith in my dog, man. I knew Bobby could do it, man.
Hey,
I believe in you, Bobby.
hey, you know what? I have to, bro. I had to hold it down just the same way we all held it down that game. Even though it wasn't the best, we held it down because we fucking stayed to the end.
We stayed to the
And
end.
honestly,
Oh, hell yeah.
honestly, that's one thing that I wanted to say is that, you know, we went over the good, the bad. I want to talk about the ugly. And the ugly was seeing people leaving, bro. And
Yeah.
on my, you know, because we saw a lot of open seats. We were up in the third deck. So my boys and I, we went down to the second deck where our homies were sitting at. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to rush over and go meet up with my boys over there with the pillaging cats.
You came
know?
in hot too, bro.
I was running, bro. And on my way over there, I was drunk and I was, you know, feeling myself.
Yeah.
And I started screaming just like at everybody, like not like at people's faces, but like up in the air. And I just remember screaming, all you motherfuckers are spoiled.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? We got how many more games? 6 more games, and y'all leaving right now? You motherfuckers are spoiled. And that's the one thing that just broke my heart, dude. It's like, because how many folks have we seen that came through to the tailgate that not from around here, that travel far, that save a lot of money? Just this last one, we met cats from Tennessee.
Yeah.
And these kids miss class. You know, they had class the next day, and they're like, oh, yeah, we're going to miss class. Fuck it. We want to be here for at least one more ride because it's not going to be here no more.
Yeah.
And you got people leaving early.
Yeah.
That was just some bullshit. And to me, that was the ugly.
That's why I do it. The same, and I gotta say, the same people that were okay with us being 8-8, going 8-8 2 weeks ago, sad sacks of shit after losing to the Chiefs at home. We're 1-1. We're 1-1. We're second place in the AFC West. Cheer up, man. Cheer up.
Yeah,
Charlie.
dog. I mean, come on, man.
Lift
You're right there.
your head up
The Chargers
high.
fucking lost too.
Cheer
You know,
up,
the Chargers
Charlie.
lost too, and I mean, you can argue that fucking good old Phillip Rivers fucking looked just even worse than fucking Carr, maybe.
Hey, Kirk Cousins is just boneless Phillip Rivers, man. Kirk Cousins, similar skill set, similar attitude. Take all the great parts of Phillip Rivers, dumb those down, mute those a little bit, and take all of his non-clutchiness and amp that shit up, and you got Kirk Cousins.
You forgot to drop a couple kids, too.
Hey, Kirk Cousins is Danny DeVito to Phillip Rivers, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and twins.
Hey, twins.
Yeah.
We are twins.
I watched the Spanish dub of that movie actually once.
Did you?
Yeah, of twins.
No shit.
Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito speaking Spanish to each other is awesome, bro.
Oh, dude, that's on the list, bro. That's on the list of the next getting weird moment, dog.
That's get weird. Che, man, thanks again, man, for sliding in. We're gonna move on to a break, and we got to hit Kane's corner after this, bro.
That's what's up, brother. You do your thing, man. Hey, I appreciate you guys, and Bobby, hold it down, man. I know you're doing a good fucking job, bro. I'm proud of you. And, I mean, it's about time you got to take that seat since you bring all the goddamn chelas anyways.
Hey, man, you know what, dude? I had to... In fact, I needed that redemption song, bro. I needed that redemption song because, you know what? Last time I came in here, I was too swerved, bro. We had that ponche. And, man,
that's right.
Dude, like, I couldn't even speak because, honestly, like you guys thought I was scared. I wasn't scared. I was drunk. And I was like, you know what? If I say something, I might throw up. I'm just going to just keep it together and just focus on my breathing. And now it's cool, you know, because, you know, we're all homies, man. We all kick it. We all just chillax and just, you know, shoot the breeze. And it's all good.
Oh, Che, before you go, I almost forgot. I'm just playing, dog. I'm not going to do that to you.
That's right. Everyone in the chat kept saying, "What's up? Is Che going to do the 2-minute drill?"
Nah, not this week, man. Not this week. I'm not going to force that on my dude. He's got his pass, man. He's got his pillaging pass. He's credentialed.
There you go.
Che, man. Che, keep the blinds closed, man. Ice is out there still sweeping for bootleg gear. I know you and I got a ton of it, so lay low, bro. Lay low. And we'll get you back in the crow's nest real soon, bro.
Yeah, man. I'll be there, brother.
All right, man. Tell the family I said hi. Stay up.
Will do, though.
Take care,
Hey, peace out, brother.
Peace
out, Bobby.
Peace.
All right, that was Che. You know who it is. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be back on the other side with Kane's Corner. We out, Che. And we're back. That's right, back in the crow's nest. It's the Pillaging Podcast. I'm Kenny Stabler, joined this week by Bobby Wasabi. And on the phone lines right now is Raider Kane for Kane's Corner, sponsored by NFLshop.com. Kane, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. What's going on?
Oh, good. I did you a favor. We talked about the good and the bad from this KC game already, so you and I don't have to go down that negative road. You and I get to look forward to the promised land. Hope springs eternal when you're looking into the silver and black future, so that's why we're going to break down this Oakland Raiders versus Minnesota Vikings game. It's the first of a very long road stretch. The Raiders travel to U.S. Bank Stadium to take on the Purple People Eaters. How's it all going to go down, Kane? Let's talk about this. What are some keys to this matchup this week?
I mean, well, shit, Che and Bobby pretty much summed it up already. I mean, you know what I mean? They already did my segment for me. Basically, you got two teams, two quarterbacks who, you know, basically mediocre, average, whatever, quarterbacks that could be good with surrounded by great players. You got a good defense in Minnesota. Minnesota, they started out with the number 4 ranked defense in the NFL. And the Raiders ain't been looking too bad on defense, but you know, we lost Jonathan Abram. That's a big loss for the team right now. So, you know, that hurt. So pretty much, yeah, they already covered it. I mean, I'm saying, we got to go out and you got the two quarterbacks, and whoever's the better quarterback with the team with the better defense going to win the game.
So let's talk about that Minnesota defense, because that Minnesota defense was the centerpiece of this team for some time, and this year so far, you know, not quite living up to the potential that it had set for itself. Not doing too shabby, but definitely got burned last week by Green Bay a little bit there. Is this defense, this Vikings defense, something that the Oakland Raiders should be worried about this Sunday?
Yeah. They're the number 4 defense in the NFL, absolutely. They got a good defensive line, above average cornerbacks, good safety, and Harold Smith. Yeah, you got something to worry about with the defense. So if Derek Carr and the offensive line can't handle the defensive line of Minnesota Vikings, and if Derek Carr can't make plays against the DBs and the safeties of that defense, we won't win the game, and we on the road. Simple as that.
So what's a matchup you're looking forward to in this game? Is it Conley versus Diggs? Is it this defensive line versus Dalvin Cook? Vontaze Burfict covering Cook? What's the matchup you're looking for in this game? What kind of defensive performance would you like to see out of the Raiders? What types of numbers is going to get it done? I'm talking about sacks. I'm talking about turnover. I'm talking about third down. Getting off the field. What's going to be the difference maker in this game as far as the Raiders defense, and what's a matchup you'd like to see?
Conley and Diggs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, actually, you know what? Actually, let me take that back. Diggs is probably listed as the number 1 wide receiver, and I don't even think he still is. Thielen is the guy that you want to really cover. So you're going to put our best DB this week is Conley. You want to put him on Thielen. You want to have the defensive line make sure they can stop, because if you put pressure on Kirk Cousins, you know what I'm saying, he's going to have issues. He's not one of those quarterbacks that's going to run around and make a lot of plays. If you can just shutter him in the pocket, scare him around, shift him, make him move off his spot, you got a chance to flutter him and make the DBs make some plays. So, yeah, we got to basically guard the receivers. We want Burfict has been great as a linebacker. They got Dalvin Cook. You want Burfict to make sure that he's on, he's stopping the run with Dalvin Cook up there coming up to, up through the offensive line. This dude can run up the middle, on the outside. We've seen him do everything. So he can catch passes out the backfield too. So, like I said, man, in the beginning, the Raiders need to play a good offensive ball to beat this team. Because I think that Kirk Cousins can struggle against a good defense. And if we play good defense against him, flutter him, make him move out of his space or whatever, then, we can slow them down on defense and make the offense come out on the field, run the ball, keep the tempo slow with Josh Jacobs. We don't have a number 1 receiver. Wow, dude, our shit looks pretty bad right now. Look, we 1-1. We 1-1. Okay, I'm a Raider fan. We don't have a number 1 wide receiver.
Nope.
Okay, no, we don't. Tyrell Williams is good with a Keenan Allen or Antonio Brown on the opposite side of him. He doesn't have that right now. He is the guy right now. He's not the guy. If you understand what I'm saying, he's the guy, but he's not that guy.
He's the guy by process of elimination, is what you're saying. He's not the guy that's going to carry you for the long haul. I mean, he had the 1,000-yard season, when Keenan Allen was out, but he's also surrounded by also other offensive weapons on that Chargers team. And right now, the guy you got to get more involved, I think, is Darren Waller. He's the guy that's going to free a lot of this up. We didn't see too much of him on Sunday.
No, we didn't. But like I said, Minnesota got a good defense, and Harold Smith ain't no joke.
No.
And he can guard tight ends. So do you think Darren Waller can have a good game against their safety? You know what I mean? This is what I'm saying. The Minnesota has a number 4 defense in the NFL, and our offense, I'm not sure where our offense is. I didn't even look it up before I got on to find out where we rank as an offense right now. I'm sure it's in the middle of the pack somewhere.
Yeah.
But my point is Derek Carr better than Kirk Cousins? That's what it's going to basically boil down to. I think Gary and Conley can bounce back and have a good game this week. I think Daryl Worley, and I think we played Patrick Mahomes, and I think we played the Kansas City Chiefs, and they're like the number 2 team in the NFL right now, and they had the wildest second quarter you can ever have of football in NFL history, and Patrick Mahomes is shit. Fuck them. I don't give a fuck about them. Move on to Minnesota, who doesn't have that kind of offense, and they might have the players to fit that, but they don't have the quarterback. They don't have Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
So my point I'm trying to make is, can Kirk Cousins make more plays than Derek Carr on offense? Because that's what it's going to boil down to, man. You know, the defense held a high-power offense, Patrick Mahomes, without a Tyreek Hill, you know what I'm saying, with Sammy Watkins, he had an okay game, but he had to really go to the other players. You know, he's still Patrick Mahomes. We held him to 28 points, bro. They scoring 40 and something points a game, 38, 34, whatever points they scoring, more than 28. So the defense
a touchdown per quarter.
The defense came to play. They held him to 28 points. I give them props for that.
Yeah.
I give our defense props for holding the Kansas City Chiefs to 28 points. Absolutely, I do. So I think Kirk Cousins can score 28 points against our defense? No, I don't. So if Derek Carr can come out and have a game that says that he had against Denver's defense, which is a better defense than Kansas City's defense, then we might win the game. And at the end of that, all that bullshit I just said, I think we can win the game on Sunday.
Okay. Well, how many points is it going to take to get this done, though?
Fuck, man, 28 points. Minnesota don't score a lot of points on offense with Kirk Cousins. They ain't been a high flying offense under Kirk Cousins.
You high off that flower, huh?
He's high flying.
Not off that flower, hell no. So they ain't been a high flying offense. You understand me?
Right.
Under Kirk Cousins, you know, so we don't have to worry about some Patrick Mahomes Superman shit going on offense, unless Diggs and Thielen have like worldly games against Worley and Conley and Mullen and Joseph. Because that's really all they got. I think the Raiders are good against the run. We shut down the run.
Yeah.
So I think between the linebackers and Burfict and shit, Dalvin Cook ain't got a shot. Unless they, you know, dinking and dunking to him out the backfield, because he can catch passes out the backfield. But if they try to run the ball against us, that ain't going to work.
So, I mean, we've been talking about the Oakland defense a lot here. You know, we've covered the Vikings, like you said, in this segment. We got into a little bit of the last segment, didn't mean to. But you know, let's kind of like shift gears here a little bit. We were talking about this in the group chat today. I know you have strong feelings about it. Jalen Ramsey's on the trade block. What does GM Kane do there? Is that something you try to go out to do? Or do you covet your picks, hold on to it? Maybe you're a little shell-shocked of what's happened already in recent trades. What is it that you would do?
Okay, I got a lot of mixed feelings on this situation. First of all, I've been hearing, you know, I heard some stuff today that I didn't really take too much precedence at, but I'm starting to add this into the equation now, is that Conley is not in our future plans. I never really thought about that. I always thought Conley is a solid DB and a solid foundation to a defense in the backfield. You know what I mean? So I didn't think that he was not something we would be thinking about going forward until I, you know, heard somebody that I feel that's credible tell me that he was on a trade block. So with that being said, why would you not trade for a guy like Ramsey, especially if you if Conley is not in your plans, because this dude is solid. I don't care about the game he had against the Superman last Sunday. I don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? Going forward, this dude is a solid player. So if he's not in your future plans and you plan on bringing in Jalen Ramsey, I'm with that. If you do plan on keeping this dude, I'm still with that, because now guess what? You got probably the best defensive back core in the NFL. When you bring Jonathan Abram back next year, and if you decide to keep Carl Joseph or not, that's a solid fucking DB core right there.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I'm saying? With Ramsey, Conley, Abram, and Joseph. Oh, man. That's 10 years. That's the Legion of Boom for real. You know what I mean? So if you don't plan on keeping Conley, then yes, trade for him. If you do plan on keeping Conley, yes, trade for him. It's a win-win situation either way. You're going to lose one body, you're going to pick up another body. You're going to pick up another body and keep a body that's a part of your already being. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So either way, you're winning. You're winning.
Yeah.
Is Jalen Ramsey worth a number 20? You know what? At this point, Chicago is probably mid-pack to, they probably going to be anywhere from number 10 to number 17, 18 pick in the draft. Those of you that think they're going to be worse than that with that defense, I probably doubt it. That defense is good enough to win them some games. Okay, so we're looking at around the 10th, between the 10th and the 15th, 16th pick. Is Jalen Ramsey worth that? Hell motherfucking yes. Trade the pick. You still got your first round pick. And you just added the other side to your defense if you plan on keeping Conley. You know what I'm saying? And if you plan on letting him go, you got somebody to replace him. So that's a win-win situation, man.
And
you don't lose going either way.
And my thing that I've always said too is that he's still young. He's 24. He's already proven himself out there in the league. He's already been, been through those rough patches as far as all the rookies go. Mm-hmm. So it's awesome. He knows how to handle himself. And the way I feel about it is, why roll the dice on a pick that can potentially come out to be okay, but that's all they could be is okay.
Absolutely.
Why not just get somebody that's been proven and that can handle it and is still young enough, and not only that, wants to play for us. That's the main thing.
Yeah, why not trade away a valuable draft pick to a disgruntled playmaker that wants to get off of his team? Yeah, that's something we've never done before. Should work out. Should work out good, right?
Facebook.
What can go wrong?
Facebook.
Hey, listen, man. We've made our mistakes. And let's not start to talk about draft picks being traded and draft players and players being traded and shit right now, because the season is 1-1. We without a number one receiver, we without a pass rusher, and we traded 2 of them last year. So let's not even start talking about that until the Raiders start winning some games.
Well, that was my point. That was my point at the top of the show. Is that Jalen Ramsey,
with that subject.
He's a good player, but is he the guy that we need to make this all turn around? And I don't think so. I think you just said it yourself. A pass rusher and a wide receiver are the 2 targets that the Raiders should be looking at. And right now, none of those guys are up for a trade. So I myself would stand pat on Jalen Ramsey. I would not give up a first. I would definitely not give up 2 firsts for Jalen Ramsey. I think that price is too high, and I think you don't know what kind of problems you're going to inherit.
Did I say I would give up? Oh, excuse me. I didn't mean to cut you off, my brother. Hold on. I wouldn't give up 2 first-round picks for Jalen Ramsey. I didn't. You set me up.
I never said you said that, Kane. But here we go again.
I would never give up 2.
Here we go again.
2 first-round picks for Jalen Ramsey.
Here we go again.
I was talking about trading Chicago's first-round pick this year in 2020 for Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah, I understand that, but the reports are Jacksonville's looking for 2 first-round draft picks or a first plus, and so I don't think I'd give up that. I understand what you want to give them, but I also understand what they're asking for right now. That price will probably come down, but again, is the value worth it for where we're at right now? I don't think that's our issue. I don't think that's what pushes us over the hump. I don't think we become contenders all of a sudden by getting Ramsey this year. I don't. I think it looks nice and it looks great. I'd love to see Ramsey in a Raider uniform. I'm just not willing to pay the cost for that right now. I think we have bigger needs in other areas, and that would necessitate giving up a draft pick. But right now, Ramsey, for me, it would be nice. I would love that. But again, I don't think that equates to W's necessarily this season. I think the offense needs to get a little more explosive, and we said it already. Tyrell Williams, not a number 1 wide receiver. To me, that's the most glaring deficit on this team. That's the most glaring deficit.
Well, speaking of wide receivers, Kane,
I agree with you, Kenny.
What's your opinion on everyone over here talking about getting Keelan Doss in there? Getting Keelan Doss, because now, he is part of the squad.
He's not a number one. He's not. No. Keelan Doss is not a number 1 wide receiver. You know what? If you want to look at grabbing a number 1 wide receiver in the mid-season right now without drafting one, you better look at Cincinnati and A.J. Green. Maybe A.J. Green, he's hobbled right now, but he can give you better than what we got right now as far as a number 1 wide receiver. Mm-hmm. He commands double coverages. Healthy, he can free up Tyrell Williams. Look, Tyrell Williams is a good wide receiver, and we all said this earlier in the podcast, that Tyrell Williams is a good wide receiver if he got a number 1 wide receiver, Keenan Allen, the Antonio Brown, which we thought, next to him, he will flourish. He don't have that right now. We don't have that right now. So everybody trying to we just signed Trevor Davis, and let's go get, somebody's practice squad, or let's sign J.J. Nelson, which I told y'all in the beginning of the year that J.J. Nelson and Ryan Grant are shit. I told y'all that, and I didn't say it in those many words, but I already told y'all that was a fucking waste. You know what I'm saying? At least we could have kept the younger players, but you didn't. That's cool, whatever. Antonio Brown, whatever. You don't have a number 1 wide receiver. So you need to be going out and trying to fabricate one. You know what I'm saying? Because right now you don't. A.J. Green, Cincinnati, he's injured right now. He'll be back within a week or 2. He might be on the trade block. You might be able to approach them with that Chicago pick, or a 3rd-round pick, or a 5th, or a 4th, whatever you got, because y'all done traded all this shit away for all these fucking people that ain't on the team right now. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, let's go out and try to get somebody that's worthy. A.J. Green, he might be that guy. That's all I'm saying.
I got a mildly hot take for you. Mildly hot. I think Ryan Grant's boring. I think Jones is just Johnny Holton. I'd rather see Marcel Amen on that squad in that position. And Keelan Doss is a really nice story on HBO, but he dropped 2 balls in a row at the end of the preseason, and therefore he did not even make the practice squad. It's only now that we're in a position of need that he comes back. So Keelan Doss is fun to watch. I root for the kid. We all do. But, let's not confuse rooting for somebody with their actual, talent set. I think Keelan Doss has a ways to go. It's nice to see the kid out
there.
That
ain't no hot take, bro. That's real talk.
That's a fact, right?
Facts. You need to hit the facts button on that. Hell yeah. Shit. That's fucking facts. That ain't no fucking hot take. Shit. That's the real fucking talk. We don't have a number 1 receiver.
No.
We don't. You traded away. And look, I'm not even finna start talking about this shit. We 1-1. Let's look at let's be happy. Let's jump through the cotton trees. Let's dance through the roses while they flowering and blossoming, and say we 1-1. Let's look at the goodness of this. We 1-1. And Derek Carr is the same quarterback he's been the last 5 years. Yeah. Let's look at all this shit. Whatever. Let's do it. I'm ready. I'm a Raider fan. I've been dealing with this shit since 1976, man. It is what it is, man. You know, and it ain't changed. Mark Davis, now Davis, y'all, and the ownership changed from son to father, but the team still staying the same. So let's get it together. Let's move forward. Jon Gruden, you trying to put something together. You building a team. It ain't proven. And I'm not finna jump on the bandwagon and say it is, because it's not. I need to see some fucking victories. I need to see some consistent plays. I need to see a pass rush. I need to see an offensive line. I need to see some linebackers. I need to see everything every week for 16 weeks, 17 weeks. Not 1 week here. Oh, and then we lose next week because we played the Kansas City Chiefs. We look like this. Now we're going to play the Minnesota Vikings, so let's see how we look. I'm tired of that shit. I've been doing that since I'm tired of that shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a Raider fucking fan. Let's go out, build a team that's going to win. If Derek Carr's the man, he's the man. Do it. That's all we got right now, because everybody else is in place. The offense, the defense, you done drafted people. You have picked up free agents. You have signed offensive players to contracts. You have drafted offensive players. Your only question is your quarterback, really. So, you know, I don't sleep with Derek Carr. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is this. Okay. If this motherfucker's going to do it this year, then get it done. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, get the fuck on. Let's move on and find somebody that will, because I was not excited about what I saw after from the third to the fourth quarter from Derek Carr. I saw too many fast releases, bro. Y'all can say, oh, people was out of line, this, that, boom, boom, bop, whatever the case may be. This dude, as soon as you hike the ball 3 seconds, you're not even looking. Somebody was open on your left, you threw it to the motherfucking right. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You're not looking. And I done said this. You're playing scared. What happened in just a week? What happened? So let's go against another good defense in Minnesota. The number 4 defense ranked right now. The number 4 defense with a good defensive line and 2 good safeties. And let's see what we get done this week. I expect us to win.
And the addition of Richie Incognito. And I'm looking at the schedule right now. I think it's still a chance that the Raiders finish out the season 7-9, 8-8, right? Right where we had them, Kane.
Does that save Carr next year? Does that schedule save Derek Carr's ass?
No, because as you already know, the offseason hasn't even started yet. We're not even close to that yet. And we already got folks talking about the Raiders going quarterback in the first round. So, you know, I don't. Bro,
hey, look, man, come on, bro. We tight. I know you. You know what I'm saying? As far as sports is concerned, you can say what you want to say, but I know what you're thinking. In the back of your mind, this nigga got this year. That's it, bro. Like, you got 5 years. Look, if it don't take 5 years to assess a quarterback's play with a bad offense or a good offense. With a quarterback that's good, Deshaun Watson, Jameis Winston, these guys have nothing compared. Well, maybe Jameis Winston ain't got nothing compared to Derek Carr, and he playing better than Derek Carr right now. You understand what I'm saying? So my whole thing is, after 5 years, if we still trying to figure out who you are, then maybe you are who you are. Mm-hmm. And I know y'all. Look, I'm a Carr stan too, bruh. We all Carr stans. I wear the motherfucking "This Is My QB" shirt. I bought one from DC4 Custom Tees. You know what I'm saying? I wear it humbly. But my point is that after 5 years, when do you start to assess the quarterback?
Yeah, 2016 is looking a lot more like a fluke rather than potential at this point.
When do you start to assess the quarterback? Can one of y'all tell me that?
I think we started already. I think I think part of this this off season and loading up on weapons, the centerpiece of which is now gone. I think that was basically it. That was going to be the final test. I'm going to give you zero excuses. I'm going to bring Trent Brown in here. I'm going to bring Rich Incognito in here. I'm going to give you a Strider at number 2. I'm going to give you a speedster in Nelson. I'm going to give you a boring ass go-to dude in Grant. I'm going to give you the glue hands Renfro, and I'm going to get you Antonio Brown. And Darren Waller's our up-and-coming hot shot, and you're going to put up or shut up, and we're going to move on. I think regardless, I think we go 8-8. There's a chance Carr's still on the roster, but there's a bona fide quarterback pushing him from behind. I think we do draft a quarterback this year regardless.
I
think so.
Honestly, I had said we should have done it last year. Obviously not number 1, though, but like somewhere like way down the line more. I mean,
shit, I don't know about that. I'd take Lamar Jackson right now.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. Like, Bobby, I respect you, bro, but drafting a quarterback down the line is not drafting somebody to replace a Derek Carr. If you're trying to replace an above average quarterback who really he's got issues and probably is a consistent league backup after this stint with the Raiders, you need to draft somebody better than him, and they got to go in the first round.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to draft somebody. You're gonna have to go 4-12, 3-13, 2-14. The standard issue, Miami, and get you a good quarterback. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta shoot for the moon.
That's just how it's gonna have to work.
You gotta shoot for the moon. You gotta shoot for the stars, man. When it comes to quarterback now, at this point in Derek Carr's career, his 6th season now, he'll be going into his 7th. At this point, you gotta shoot for the replacement, the bona fide starter. And we'll see. I mean, they have an opt-out on Derek next year. I think they'd only be on the hook for $5 million. So I think Derek Carr should be scared because this is the year. Next year it's just too easy to walk away from him, to not do so if the talent is staring you in the face. But I think the only thing that would prevent them from doing so is playing just well enough to move out of a spot to not get a quarterback. But who knows? If they want one bad enough, I'm sure Mayock and Gruden will put a package together and move up. But I definitely see us drafting a quarterback this year.
But you know what's funny about that, though, bro, is that I had some people hit me on Twitter like, oh, what if you have a good game next week? Like, fuck next week. I want to see 16 weeks. Mm-hmm. I want to see 13 weeks straight. I want to see a season. I don't want to see this week, that next week, but this week, ain't y'all tired of that? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not hating on Derek Carr, because I'm about to get blew up on Twitter about this. I already probably am. I'm not hating on Derek Carr.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is I need to see some consistency from any quarterback that plays for the Oakland Raiders. Any quarterback that plays for the Oakland Raiders needs to be consistent for me. And if you're not consistent with me or with the system, a la Sunday, when you had a 10-point lead and you had receivers open on the other side of the field that you could have threw to, man, I watched the film, bro, and I know we're not finna. Real quick, I'm going to just make one play because you guys talked about this play in extensive. And you know what? On that particular play that you were talking about, the linebacker froze because LaShawn McCoy went out to the flat. You know what I'm saying? So the DB that was guard number 17, he froze looking at LaShawn McCoy. Go back and watch the film. He froze looking at LaShawn McCoy out in the flat. Number 17 ran past him. Conley was on his man. Stop the film. Right at this point, stop the film when the DB run, when the dude run past the DB, Conley's on his guy all the way to the left of the screen. And then he covers the dude. He tries to run over and cover homeboy's fucking mistake. You know what I'm saying? And it looked like Conley got burnt, but the people who got burnt was the linebacker who froze when he looked at LaShawn. Instead of running towards LaShawn McCoy to stop that play, then the DB who was guarding, which I think it was Nelson, guard number 17 for the Kansas City Chiefs, who ran right past him. If he would have kept running with him, Conley was running with his dude. Nobody would have been, the play would have went to the flat to the Sean McCoy. But you already had Travis Kelce on the right side of the field being covered by 2 DB. He was double covered already. The safety, instead of going for number 17, he saw what the linebacker saw and froze and went and ran over to Kelce. And so you had 3 motherfuckers on Kelce, the linebacker standing in the middle field looking stupid as a motherfucker, and then the DB let number 17 run passing, and that's how they scored the touchdown. Andy motherfucking Reid. Like my boy said to me earlier today, Kenny, everybody was out of motherfucking play. You understand? Don't blame Conley for something that was not Conley. Conley was trying to save the motherfucking play. Go back and look at the film, slow it down, watch it from snap to finish, and you'll see what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That was I just wanted to make that comment, man. I know we wasn't supposed to talk about that, but I had to give my perspective on that because I watched that play like over and over and over, like, damn, how did they get burnt? So whatever, it is what it is.
It's all good, man. Good points, Ken. I'm glad you spoke on it. I'm glad you setting these people straight. Dude, it's good talking to you as always, and we'll talk to you Sunday night after this Vikings game. Let's see how it goes, bro.
For sure, man. What you think, man? You think we got this or what?
No, dude. I don't think the Raiders get it together this week. I don't think they're going to be. I think the defense is going to play well up until a certain point. I think the offense is going to continue to struggle to convert third downs, and they're going to get in the end zone a couple times, but they're just not going to get the job done. I don't think they string it together, and the defense will be on the field too long and give up the scores late in the game when it counts. And Vikings pull ahead, win by 10.
So you think Kirk Cousins is a better orchestrator of an offense than Derek Carr? Because that's basically what it boils down to.
I'm looking at it from the Raiders' perspective and where they're at. I think Kirk Cousins fails to show up in big games. This isn't a big game. He's looking to rebound. He does okay against mediocre teams, and that's what we are right now. And Derek Carr, he's struggled to show up in either or over the last 5 years. So, right now I'm just riding my gut feeling. I don't think the Raiders can string it together just yet. And hopefully they prove me wrong. But we need some momentum. We need some confidence. We need our swagger back. And we lost it, down the stretch there last Sunday. So let's see what happens, man. It just really depends on how they react. This game can go either way, but I'm just going to go with my gut feeling.
Yeah, no, this 48 days, man, this don't look too good going into it like it did before we started the season. You know what I'm saying?
And we got a lot of players dinged up right now. You got Trent Brown, who may not even go on Sunday. And that's not a good look against this defense, against these linebackers, against this line. You got Josh Jacobs with a hip injury. Who knows, how many carries he'll get if he's limited. Then we're left with Washington and Richard. It's just up and down. We're pretty banged up right now on players that actually count. So I don't have a good feeling about this game. Bobby, what do you think?
I don't know. I'm still holding out for Richie Incognito making some sort of time for Carr to actually look down the field. The thing that sucks, though, like you said, is that there's not a lot of weapons down the field. So it definitely, and not only that too, Trent Brown, he's on the sidelines eating gummy bears and shit. So he's not there.
The pressure Sunday was coming from that right. From that right side.
That was a gummy bear.
Yeah, from that right side.
So you guys think if we lose this game, is this a tailspin game or what? Is this a tailspin game, or is this a game that we can go in and say we wasn't expected to win, and we just move on to the next week, or is it a tailspin for us?
No, I think the Colts are a team you could bounce back against. I don't think the Colts are as bad as we thought they were going to be without luck, but I think you can beat the Colts. It's just after that, then you go, Chicago, then you go Green Bay, and then you go Texans. Yeah. So I think if the tailspin's going to happen, it's there. I think you could beat the Colts. I think things are really going to get ugly after that game if they're going to get ugly. So you just got to hang in there, man. We just got to hang in there. And the Detroit Lions, they're not half bad either. You don't know what they're going to do. That's our home game back. I expect us to be hopefully fired up, but as we've seen, Kane, from this modern day fan base that likes to leave early and hang their heads all too soon, hopefully that Coliseum's rocking. But if they come back off this road trip beat up and in shambles, it's going to take a lot more than nostalgia to get this crowd riled up.
You know what I think? I think that from what I've been seeing, I think the nostalgia people is the ones that's like, I'm tired of seeing the same shit.
Well, because that's you and me, Kane. That's you and me.
And the young people is the ones that's not tripping because they just don't give a fuck. They about cell phones, media, social media. I'm at the game. I'm eating this. This what I'm eating. I'm drinking this. Here we are chilling. Look at picture I'm from. I'm at the game. Look, here on the field on the 50-yard. That's all these motherfuckers care about now. The people that's my age, when I was leaving the game the other night, they was leaving. I left like with 59 seconds left in the game. And I was like, man, this shit over, man. I can't believe this shit. And when I'm leaving the game, I'm looking at people that's my age. I'm 49 years old. And I'm looking at OGs like me. And they like, man, I'm tired of this is the same shit over and over. Yeah, a motherfucker won't say that on social media. They won't say it on a podcast. They won't say it. But while you walking next to them, they're saying it. They're saying, I'm tired of seeing the same shit. Motherfuckers that saw Jon Gruden in 98 when he came, 99, they're like, this the same dink and dunk shit. This the same shit we saw. This is what we did. This is it. This is what I'm seeing from the people that's been around for a long time, even except for Homer.
Yeah.
Poor Homer.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, except for him, the most people from the area, bro, they like, it's the same shit over and over, man, since L.A. It's the same shit. We haven't, the ownership, like I just said earlier in this podcast, the ownership changed. Shit else ain't changed. The coaching changed, whatever we got, that is still the same, man. We losing games. The defense it's the same. Go back 20 years. It's the same.
Yeah.
Shit ain't changed.
Well, let's see what happens this Sunday. Kane, thanks for coming on the show this week, and we'll talk to you in a few days, dog.
I probably made a lot of enemies tonight, man.
It's all
but
good,
I love
man.
all y'all.
You're speaking the real, bro, and you're speaking from your heart, and that's all we ask for.
And you know what, dude? We gotta have those voices out there too, Kane, because that's the one thing that everyone talks about. It's like, oh, all y'all are homers, all y'all are stands, and we have to be able to actually face facts, face realities, man. Because if we don't, then we're not doing ourselves any favor, man.
Yeah. Have a good night, brother. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, my bro.
Right.
I'll talk to y'all later, man.
Peace.
Peace out, Kane.
Peace.
And just a correction, I kept calling him Martin. It's Trevor Davis from the Green Bay Packers. I've been stuck on stupid all week, bro. I've made, I think, a half a dozen embarrassing mistakes today already, both on real life and Raider Nation. So I just thought I'd throw that correction in there. Trevor Davis, my bad. Those of you that made it to this part of the show, please forgive me. Let's go to these callers, man, shall we?
Let's do this.
Let's do it. Did you call in this week, Bobby?
I was going to, but I wasn't sure if I was going to blow my mind or not. So I just decided not to.
All right.
We'll see next week, though.
I'd love to hear you responding to your own call. That would be interesting. So let's go ahead and jump ahead here. September 11th, 12:25 p.m. Oh, yeah, I got to play this. This is an older call, but this will come up in the shout-out segment. But shout out to David and Melody, who came all the way from Washington for the Monday night game to hang with us. This is an older call we didn't get to last week, but I think I should probably play it.
Yo, David and Melody here. Kenny, Kane, man, I just want to tell you guys thank you for everything, man. We had an amazing time out there with you guys. We really appreciate everything you guys did for us. We had a blast, man. Finally glad to meet you guys. Shout out to Bobby Wasabi, man. Rolling through with the chicharrones. Hey, it was bomb. We had a great time, man. We're glad we came out there. Sitting at the airport, man. I guess AB is accused rapist, huh? I wouldn't put it past him. I really don't want to talk about the dude no more. You know what I mean? It's whatever. But I will tell you guys this, man.
I'm going to go ahead and pause that right there because I don't want to get into any of that as well. Anyways, David, man, thanks for coming out to the game. It was a pleasure to meeting you and your wife out there. You guys are some really, really great people. David basically and Melody get the tailgate MVP for that week. They did all the grilling, and they brought a very nice bottle of 24 wine, Charles Woodson's winery out there. So I just want to say thank you. Let me call.
That's right. I did get to try that too. And they are awesome folks, man. I got to meet them as well.
Yeah.
Badass folks, man. Cool people.
Good people. Let's call this number back. I have a feeling it's a hardcore Raider. Trying to get through there.
Hello.
Yeah, this is Kenny Stapler. You're on the Pillaging Podcast.
Hey, this hardcore Raider. What's up, Pillagers?
What's up, man? How you doing?
Called it.
Pretty good. How you guys doing?
Still doing pretty good.
Right on. All right. So yeah, I want to get into this Chiefs stuff, man, if we can. So, I know there's a lot of hate on Derek Carr. I mean, the obvious question is everybody's saying is Derek Carr going to prove it this year? And those are just the facts. So that's the obvious stuff. But I've tried to digest this stuff pretty deep, and I don't want to mention his name, but number 84 that was almost on our team. I say bury that fool 84 feet deep. But if I look at the Raiders and our team and what we got, obviously this game was a reality check. Monday night was a lot of momentum, a lot of heart put into that game, I think. But, I think we kind of got caught with our pants down and really got put in reality, including myself. But, if I look at the Chiefs and we just look at kind of some of the things that, how we got caught by Patrick Mahomes, obviously he's a good quarterback, but I feel like a lot of Raider Nation just wants to grant this guy Hall of Fame already. And almost like Raider Nation is bowing down to this guy, I'm not going to give the guy any respect. He's a good player, but he's a rival. And, I'm going to stand strong with that take. However, what I will say about Mahomes is he had a bum ankle and he wasn't running around as much as he normally does. But even if his ankle was healthy, I think it's really hard to have, even if we had Mac, I don't think we're getting a bunch of sacks against Mahomes if his ankle's healthy. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so a lot of people are like, well, you gotta rush Mahomes. You got to put pressure on him, which is true. That's true with any quarterback. But to me, here's how I'm looking at it, guys, is look at their wide receiver depth they have right now. Hill is injured, but he'll be back. So you have to consider, if we look at the long-term solutions for the Raiders, and if we were to make a playoff spot, or next year we make a playoff spot, all the factors have to be in play, in my opinion. And you got Tyreek Hill, you got Sammy Watkins, you got N'Keal Hardman, who they just drafted, who's really fast and looks like he has a lot of potential. That guy, Demarcus Robinson, number 11, who the hell is that guy? Nobody knew who the hell that guy was. Well, I did some research. He was drafted in 2016 in the 4th round, but he struggled with some marijuana issues. But the dude's a good wide receiver. He just, fell off the depth charts because of the other talent on the team and because of his off-the-field issues. And then, of course, Travis Kelce. So, these guys are running, and they didn't have Hill, but, they're killing us with 4 or 5 wide receiver sets. And how are we going to cover that? Even if we had Abram, how are we going to cover that many wide receivers? And then if we were to make playoffs, and I'm not saying it's this year, or if we could make a wild card, we're going to go far in the playoffs, but next year, whatever, if Antonio, or if 84, now 17, if he doesn't, if he comes onto the scene and he's there, say next year for the Patriots, you have that guy, Julian Edelman, Josh Gordon, and then Philip Dorsett. So even the Patriots have 4 really good wide receivers. We do not have enough talent or speed to keep up with those guys, in my opinion. Even if we had a Mac or some other super talented defensive end, I don't see us being able to compete with those kind of that talent. I think we really have to upgrade our defensive backs to be able to compete with them. And I'm not saying give up the kitchen sink or both first rounds to get Ramsey. I mean, I'd like to explore options, but I'm just saying that our defensive backs, we have to get stronger at defensive backs to keep up with that kind of speed with the wide receivers that, you know, are in the AFC, that we have to, if we want to eventually win a Super Bowl, you have to look at the whole picture. So I'm just curious on your guys' opinion on that.
Well, I think this team's still a few players away, man. I mean, you gave me a lot right there. I'm not sure which part you want me to answer, but yeah, the defensive back.
Let's just say the Chiefs and all their wide receivers that I mentioned. I can mention them again. I have them here, but you know, like, how can we defend if they're running 4 or 5 wide receiver sets? I mean, like, I'm looking at our defense, and they're switching kind of more the nickel package. And so, say next year Abrams back, maybe we keep Joseph, maybe we don't, whatever. Kind of blah, blah, blah. But it's like, you know, a nickel package or maybe even a dime package, but like something like that is probably the only way you're going to be able to contend with, you know, that kind of wide receiver depth. Now, if they're running the ball, like, if they would have ran the ball 90% of the time, we probably would have stopped them 98% of the time. You know what I'm saying? But they weren't running the ball. We don't have the linebackers.
Let me get back to trying to answer the question that you originally asked me. All right. You know, I think you're starting to see the philosophy shift already this season. It's the reason why only 4 linebackers are on this depth chart. It's the reason why you go out and you get LaMarcus Joyner while still retaining Carl Joseph and Jonathan Abram. It's the reason why you draft Trayvon Mullen in the 2nd round and have depth there. You got Mullen, you got Worley, you got Conley. I see them already trying to build up this defensive secondary. I guess the question that remains now for this season is, are they willing to give up the kitchen sink to do so to stay competitive in the AFC West against receivers like that? But the other option is, I mean, is not just defeating them with your defensive backfield, but also defeating them with the scoreboard. At what point are we going to go out and continue to solidify this wide receiver core that looked pretty good behind a 1 and 2 of Antonio Brown and Tyrell Williams, which now looks just somehow a lot more anemic with the exit of Antonio Brown. So, you know, I would continue to load up and go get yourself a game breaker wide receiver. We don't have one of those. We have capable defensive backs. Whether or not they retain Joseph or not, I don't know. I would like to think that Joyner comes back next year, Abram comes back healthy, and we continue to build. I think the Raiders have always shown in the past few years, regardless of the front office, that they're going to go out and draft defensive backs. We always get a handful every year, whether undrafted or late round, and we'll see how that plays out. But the glaring, and I've said it a few times on the show already, the glaring hole in this team is no playmaker at the wide receiver spot.
And you see, for me, my thing is that I support that idea. We definitely should have some help back in the cornerback slots right there, because we just saw it. We got burned completely. I do agree with Kenny. We do need some weapons out there as well, but I mean, the fact is that we're getting burned all the goddamn time by these guys. And not only that, we see KC twice a year. We see Phyllis Rivers twice a year. And when Phillip Rivers actually gets on point, when he's on fire, it sucks. It's not cool fucking seeing him burn our fucking secondary every time.
Look, you can have Conley, Abram, Jalen Ramsey back there. You can have all those guys, LaMarcus Joyner, but you give Mahomes, Phillip Rivers 5 seconds to pass the ball, it's not going to make a lick of a difference. So pass rusher, wide receiver. You got to score points to win football games. I mean, that's what John Madden told me when I was a little kid. So I know it sounds weird, but on the opposite side of the ball, you got to have some weapons to put points on the board and stay in the fight as well, trying to stop the bleeding. And I feel like the secondary is a lot further along right now than what we're seeing from our wide receiver core. That's just my opinion, though.
The AB thing definitely hurt us, and I think it completely switched our scheme and our game planning, you know. And I'm trying to get past it. I'm still not there yet, but I'm trying. But, you know, it really kind of screwed us, obviously. Maybe when J.J. Nelson's back, I mean, you know, maybe he can do something. But I completely agree that our wide receiver, like, talent is not there. I mean, to say the least, you know. But, you know, the flip side of that is like, you know, I love Derek Carr too, you know, like you guys and like, you know, a lot of us, you know, diehard fans, but Derek Carr, I don't ever, even if we had like the best offensive line, even with Antonio Brown, I don't think he's going to be putting up 40 plus numbers or 35 plus numbers a game, you know? So to go out in a shootout with Mahomes, like I see that being like, even if we had, say, Antonio Brown and AJ Green, you know, I'm just throwing out 2 random numbers. Like I still see it as being pretty hard to keep up with, you know, the Chiefs and how many points they can score in a game, and even probably the Patriots, you know. But, you know, so if I look at it like that, it's like, well, if we're not going to be able to compete with them in a shootout, then what other way can we compete with them? And here's my closest description of like how maybe I see the Raiders maybe transitioning into the future is, if you look at, as much as I hate the Broncos, man, I hate the Chiefs, but as much as I hate the Broncos, the year that Peyton Manning was like number one offense, he broke all the records and stuff. They went to the Super Bowl, and they went to the Super Bowl against the Seahawks. And the Seahawks had, the Legion of Boom, which was like a phenomenal, secondary. And they shut Peyton Manning down, dude. They locked his ass up. And, to your point, they did have better defensive pass rush and a better defensive line than what we have. But I'm just saying that,
so to your point then, is the Raiders secondary better than the Kansas City Chiefs secondary?
I think we're better than their secondary, but I don't think they're better than the offensive talent that they have for wide receiver. If they're only running two to three wide receiver sets, I think we can cover them. Like my question was like, oh, we got to cover Kelsey. And then I'm like, who the hell is Demarcus Robinson, And then I do some research. I'm like, dude, that dude's like a baller. He just hasn't got his opportunity, man, kind of thing. Yeah. And so, when I start looking at it like that, because I was like, well, none of our safeties can cover Kelsey because they don't have the height to go up and get those jump balls. But like after we got smoked, man, I mean, Mahomes can score a touchdown in like a minute or something, even if Carr hadn't thrown those interceptions, I still think it's a tall order for us to get in a shootout with that guy, Yeah. And I'm not going to agree with some of the Raider fans saying, Reed pumped the brakes on, because Gruden was his old buddy or whatnot. But here's what I'll say. I did some research, and Jon Gruden versus Andy Reid. Jon Gruden is ahead 4-3 when they faced each other. Okay, so in 2001, Gruden won 20-10. 2002, that was with the Raiders, and then in 2002 he lost in the regular season 10-20, and then he beat the Reid with when Reid was on the Eagles 27-10. But when Gruden did that, he had the top defense that he inherited from Tony Dungy, and then he had a couple other wins. But because I was thinking, I'm like, well, maybe Andy Reid has just out-schemed Jon Gruden this whole time, and he's dominated him. And then I went and I did some research. I'm like, well, shoot, in 2001, we had a pretty good defense. That may have been the year we had Darrell Russell, or trying to remember his name, but he was like a pretty good defensive lineman, and he was like, got in trouble and stuff like that. But, I know we had a good defense back then, and then I know we, when Gruden was on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they had an amazing defense. So Gruden has kind of beat Andy Reid with good defenses, not with good, offense necessarily. And so, and not that that's a tell sign for the future, but I'm just saying now they have a really good offense. We have a mediocre offense that's looking like, the uprise, but, I don't know how we can compete with the Chiefs or the Patriots, whether it's this year, next year, or whatever. And if we do what a lot of Raider fans are doing, and we just hang up the hat on Derek Carr, then it's like, okay, who are we going to draft? And then how many years is that going to take for a rookie quarterback to learn Jon Gruden's system? And Jon Gruden is not a patient guy. Then we're going to have to wait another 2 years. I mean, I don't know, man. It's just, I'm a little frustrated, but, I was pretty optimistic about this year. And I just wanted this year to be a good year for last year in Oakland, year of redemption. I'm not jumping ship. It's only the second week. I'm just, usually I can find like solutions to problems, And I see a problem with the Chiefs and Patriots that they're going to be hard teams to contend with,
Yeah. Yeah, good call, man. Thanks for calling in. You made some really good points, and I think you got Raider Nation thinking out there. A lot of good things to think about. Call in more, man. We appreciate it.
All right. Love you guys, man.
Love you too, man.
Kenny.
Thank you,
Bubba.
Thanks
Bobby.
for everything.
Take care, hardcore.
Thank you.
And our hardcore actually made a really generous donation to us a couple weeks ago, which allowed us to upgrade our tailgate equipment this past weekend and get you guys a nice, clean image. So really, that's courtesy of Hardcore Raider. So we thank you very much. I still think 3 out of 4 quarters we held that offense in check. I don't think we're the chief killers just yet, but 2 out of the 4 touchdowns, blown coverages, and 2 of them we just, I don't know that we stopped those. So it's tough. How do we hang with the Chiefs? How do we hang with the Patriots? Well, there's 31 other teams in the league that are wondering the same thing. 30, I guess, if you exclude us, because we just talked about us. But that was a really good call regardless. Makes you think, right? A lot of different ways to attack this. But the fact of the matter is, the reality is, Bobby, we're not there yet. We're players away. And we said that going into this season. The Raiders are going to have a decent year, I think, and they're going to wash out just where I said, 7-9, 8-8. I was hoping for 9-7. I don't see that happening unless things start to turn around. But with this road schedule coming up, I mean, I don't see. I'd love to see us go 500 on it, or I mean, I think it's actually an odd number, but we'll see what happens.
Well, it's still a possibility, like I said, man. Especially with the way we kind of handled ourselves. So, yeah, definitely, it could definitely happen, man. We handled ourselves with Mr. Kermit Mahomes. So I could definitely see some sort of 500 happening at least, or whatever weird number that is.
Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. Let's go to the next call. This is from the 360.
Kitty Che Kang, what's up, Pillagers? This is Pete. How we doing?
What's up?
Well, sure we all know how we're feeling right now. This is post game of week 2 of the Oakland Raiders season. It is what it is, and if there's anything I could compare that first quarter to, it would be like a bad 80s movie where a dude asks out a chick to prom that's way out of his league, and she says yes, but then the other 3 quarters are literally just the fact that she did it to make fun of him, and like now it's like sabotage or something like that. Jesus, that was. So I call in today, and I'm going to start off with this. I'm going to try and spin a little positivity on this. I know we like to do an MVP in a garbage can, and today I'm going to give you my MVP. I would give it to it as a collective, but, man, my MVP is Montez Perfect. Our front 7 was coordinated. Our linebackers did a better job than they have in the past 2.5 years, and I don't think it's just because of the presence of Montez. We're younger up front, look better. This is 2 years in the system. And damn it, like, our defense has a lot of energy. Like, a lot of fantastic energy. Outside of our corners getting burned, which is fucking terrible. John Abram couldn't have done anything like that. But, look, man, like, this team last year would have sat down in the fucking third quarter and just let it go up about 52-10. We didn't let that happen today. My garbage can player of the week is another co-opted fucking attempt. Derek Carr. Dude, I can only stick up for you so much. John Gruden. 3 and outs, 4 3 and outs, whatever. Well, you can't come up with fucking something when Josh Jacobs was hot. Boy, was I pissed, but we got.
Something must have happened with this connection right there. And you see it was still going. I don't know what happened there. Pete was on fire, too. That was a hell of a phone call. I don't know what happened there. Damn, that sucks. That was a really good phone call.
I know. I thought it was that Google phone thing that just cut him off.
No, because there's still tape to play right there. I think that might have come from his end. I'm not sure what's going on right there. But, yeah. Oh, you know what? Yeah, no, that's what it is. Levels are okay over here. Sorry about that, Pete. That was a hell of a phone call. Hell of a phone call. Let's move on to the next one. It's getting late. 760. I don't know. Maybe it's not Pete. Maybe it is us. I'm not sure here. We're going to try this one more time, and if it doesn't work out, we're going to have to bail on the phone calls. Let's try this one.
Although, one thing I do want to say is that those names look funny, the descriptions.
Yeah. Somebody transcribed as Kenny Chesney. Yeah, I got nothing coming in here. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the phone line right now. Sorry about that, guys. I apologize. They just dropped out on us completely. But Bobby, man, should we do some shout-outs?
I think it was all those hot takes that everyone just kept calling.
Dude, blew it out. He just shorted it out.
Killed it, man.
Crushed it. We didn't even have the WAP Thunder, and it still crushed it.
Right.
Shout-outs on Twitter. Got a lot of them, so hang in there. And if you followed us this week, we're going to catch up with you guys next week. The follows are coming in hot and fast, so... Shout out to Raider Mont, Soy Joker 75, Cesar. Shout out to NJ Deplorable, Josie Harvey, Jam J, David Dupree Jr., Boondock Saint, Activist, Lala, Angel Cesana, I'm a Villain, Taylor White dropping show, Landon Arciero, Joe Navarrete, Sparks, Robert, Tony, Tony Tucker, Andrew Maldonado, Sleetsky, RMT72, Raiderette Crystal, Nation of Villains, Reese Banwell, Ninja, Just Win 1423, Jose Cuervis, Darius Kirkpatrick, Redbeard, Raider Russell, Eric Johnson, Nelson Janio Jr., Dirty Deeds, Garrett Nelson, Batman, Harry Allen James Lucas, Raider Met, Jessica W., Paul Roke, Mike Church, Raider Hardcore, not to be confused, Just Nick Baby, Dan Sucks, One Nation, Frosty Harker, Khalif, Stefan Perron, Corey Bombera, Stu Weiss, Ardent Raider, Fred, Oluvin, 757 Budget Breaks, Rosendo Gallegos, Santiago Sandoval, JNL, LSX Raiders, Pac Main, Rogers TSI, Dave Hernandez, DFS Dranksta, Rodney Scroggins, Abdul Wasi, Jaywalk 33, Mike Austin, Raider Fry, Apache Mena, Kerry, Gerald Mendez, Brad Street, Eric City, Fuck AB 4084, Chris, Carlos Lopez, Jovan Williams, Just Pod Baby, Charles Freeman, Forrest Hubbard, C Dizzle, Big Primo, Neil T, Raul Perez, Jim Haley, Black Kane, the illustrious Chris Weissong, Ivan Ruiz, Manny Raider, Eddie Munoz, Faith God 77, D Collab, Rogelio, Kyle Hall, Drill Boy, 510, Oak Raid 24, Raider Marston, Britt, Josh Salas, Plant Slayer. Shout out to Raiders analyst Stephen Dillard, Sango Tagayo, Myra Quinones, Rick Dickulus, Kawhi Lang, Rick Hastings, Michael Alexander, Ruben Regosa, Livin Vibin, Jerry Ulabari, SoCal Raider Nation, Marco 71, Steve E. Henderson, Raider Big Rock, Loki 718, The Fumble Zone, Anthony Chacon, Risa Aparicio, Jerome Marquise, Alex Herrera, 123, Metalhead Raider, People's Champ 225, Matt Haxel, Lady V, Crazy Fingers, and last but not least, shout out to DeHigas and Scar Raider on Twitter for helping us locate Miss Pillaging. Got to give a shout out to them, also known as Raider Rach. They came by the tailgate. Other tailgate shout outs was Harry Fairclough from the UK. That's right, Harry from London came out for Monday Night Football. The good doc, it was good seeing him. A big shout out to David and Melody, their family as well. Shout out to Dutch, who's from the Pillaging Just for Fun blog, as well as Homer. They were out there. D-Man, Daryl Padilla, Marquez, Chris Weissong, Rad Rachel, who also came by. James from Black Hole Banter was out there. Ted Nguyen was out there. Raider Bren was out there. In one word, Raider was out there. Raider Ben was out there. Sean Hildebrand, as you know, was out there. Your favorite Mexican was out there. This week, I know Howie was out there. American Idiot was out there. I can go on and on. It kind of gets to be a blur. I'm going to forget a lot of names. Everyone that's been coming by the tailgate, absolutely tremendous. If you're coming to a game this year and you don't know where to go, you don't have a spot to land, I'm here to tell you that you actually do. A lot in the suite section, row 4 along the main walkway. So if you're standing right between the Oracle Arena and the Oakland Coliseum and you're facing like the main walkway where the porta potties are, and sometimes there's a DJ right there, we're going to be right there. We're facing the main walkway. So if you're walking down the aisles, you're going to miss us. You want to go down that main walkway between A lot and D lot, and you should find us up near the Coliseum. So I think we're easy to find. What do you think, Bobby?
Hey, you know what? If anything, you guys found me last time.
That's true.
I was trying to sneak up on you guys, and I just see Che moving his head around. I was like, what the hell is he doing? And I was like, he fucking spotted me. He spotted me, man. So it's easy as hell to find you guys.
We see you coming. Yeah. But, man, come by. Just come by and make yourself at home. There's beer in the blue cooler. There's non-alcoholic in the Raider cooler. So if you got some kids, it's in with the Raider cooler. That's the cool cooler. That one's for the kids, man. And if there's meat on the table, grab some food. We always got some chips. Like David said, we got the chicharrones on the lock.
That's right.
And come make yourself at home. We're hospitable. What do you think?
You know what? Since the first time I went over there and acted weird with you guys have always been pretty cool with me, man.
Yeah, we act weird too.
And that's why it just felt so right. And everybody else that stops by right there, I've always seen nothing but love, man. Everyone just stops by and just wants to just hang out, have a beer, shoot the shit,
have a good time,
and just basically go into the game with some good vibes right there, man.
Yeah, I mean, again, we've met people now just this season from Washington State, from Tennessee, from Canada, from New York, from Texas, from London, man, everywhere. I don't know. I'm even missing names right now, but just everywhere. From Southern California, obviously. A lot of folks from Sacramento. A lot of folks always from Sacramento and the Chico area, and even all the way down to the Bakersfield, Fresno area. A lot of folks come up. So it's been tremendous, man. Come by. The only thing I was really upset about is nobody saved me a taco, man. I didn't eat a single bite of our food.
Word?
But I can't complain because you guys have been very generous with your donations, both through the PayPal account and in person, for helping us restock the tailgate every week. So we got no problem bringing food. We are it's not like a elaborate tailgate. We don't have some gigantic stupid grill. We got a Weber, and we usually about 8 pounds of carne asada, and sometimes some hot links.
But what you have is that you have that atmosphere, man. Not only just around the entire tailgate, but just the atmosphere that you guys create. Like you said, you don't have to have a place to actually, you know, touch down and be your own thing. Like, you do have a place. You have it right here with us. Mm-hmm. You guys are very inviting, and that's the great thing, man, is that everyone that has stopped by to say hello, to say what's up. I mean, hell, even when you guys are recording, hey, what's up, man? Come over here, get on the mic real quick, you know, shoot the shit.
Yeah.
You know, say what's up, say where you're from, and blah, blah, blah. And that means a lot to a lot of folks, man.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, how the hell are you guys not approachable? Shit.
This is my favorite part of doing this whole thing. When Kane and I first started all this, we started it for the blog heads, the guys that are on our blog. We didn't think anybody would pay attention to us. And hell, Sunday it took me 20 minutes just to get to the porta potty, bro, because I'm too busy shaking hands and I can't stop, man. I love it. I love meeting all these people. I love hearing the story of basically, you know, just traveling out here, you know, how they became Raider fans, why they're coming out. A lot of folks coming out for this last season. So, you know, it's sad that it took this to get you out here, but I'm not mad at it. You know, you're out here. So, you know, I'm grateful and appreciative that you're here filling up our stadium and shouting as loud as you can. Just, you know, don't leave early. Soak up every minute. Bobby and I, Che, Kane, we always huddled together and we look at the Coliseum every day. We just kind of have that moment of silence, man. Soak it up.
You got to. You got to, because in all those good times, it's very easy to forget where we're at and what it is that we're no longer going to have. Mm-hmm. So, you know, we have to take that moment, those times, to actually, you know, be grateful for that, man.
Yeah. So just think about it, man. We played the Broncos for the very last time in Oakland. We played the Chiefs for the very last time in Oakland already. So
on dirt.
Yeah, on dirt. So get out there, man, and enjoy these last few games. If you got a little bit of money, save it for a rainy day. Well, when it rains, it pours. It's pouring right now. You need to get out here to Oakland. And I apologize for the atmosphere I created on Sunday. I was a bit gassy that morning. I was a little gassy. So I apologize for the atmosphere I create. But Bobby has a point, man. It's just, it's all love. It's all family. And that's the thing about Raider Nation. It's one of the largest fraternities in America. It's a religion. It's not a fan base. And right now, our church is the Oakland Coliseum. So come on out and have a good time with us while it lasts. Because I don't know if this tailgate gonna travel to Vegas or not. So if you want to meet us out there and you just want a place to go, I mean, it's not about us. It's about the team. But if you want a place to go, come out, hang out with us. We'd love to meet you. We got plenty of beer. So if that's what you want to bring some food if you can. Bring some food and, you know, give it to the cook. And you might be the cook. So
that's right, because, you know, Kenny got to get that taco in, man. After all that hard recording, man, you know, can't have him collapsing while mid scream inside, you know.
Bro, if it wasn't for David and Melody handing me tacos the first week, I may not have eaten either. We got 4 of those football shaped nacho bowls now.
Right.
We just been collecting those because we eat the nachos when we get in the game. So they be having those souvenir nacho bowls.
Nah, you gotta take those souvenir nacho bowls full of tacos inside the stadium, bro.
Should.
And just be like, hey, look, you could see inside. It's open.
Oh yeah, you could take your food in.
Oh well, see, there you go. See, a whole football full of tacos. Mm-hmm. Make it happen, pillagers.
Yeah,
make it happen.
Y'all ate 8 pounds of asada. You should be proud of yourself. That's pretty awesome, man.
That's right. Make Kenny not want to go to the bathroom for a couple of days.
I thought it was pretty cool that these Tennessee folks got to come out here and get a real taco. You know what I mean?
Not only that, they got to miss class.
Yeah.
For the Raider Nation.
That's right.
That's badass.
Shout out to Artiagas for the prepared asada. Pretty tasty.
Shout out.
And we get the good stuff too. We get that arrachera, that good cut.
Hey, well, you know what? That not a lot of people know about that. Not a lot of people are on that game. So, you know, you got to bring something else for everybody to enjoy, something for everybody to see. I mean, David and Melody, they never seen those chicharrones, so that's why I was like, you know what?
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna bring this not just for my boy Che because he's talking about chicharrones, but to see who else enjoys it out there. And look what happened, man. We have folks coming in from Washington enjoying some of our local snacks and delicatessens.
Oh yeah, I love the chicharrones con carne. Delicious. On YouTube, shout out to Mario Silva, Nick Christopoulos, Gamer for Life, 3,400 238 747 474 repeating. Shout out to Mr. Gates, Kebab Kicker, James McKee, Desingu, Chris Fields, Boy That Cast, and Jeff Barnett. Thanks for subscribing on YouTube. The rest of you that subscribed this week, we'll catch up with you on Sunday. It's been tremendous. Again, thanks for everybody that donated, everyone that brought cash out to the tailgate. You're making the next one happen. Literally, we don't pocket any of this. It just goes right back into the next week. So we appreciate that. You're really helping keep us fed and keep the rest of Raider Nation fed. And that's it for this week's show. Tune in every week wherever podcasts are found. Call and leave a message to be played on air at 408-909-PJFF. Download the official Pillaging app available for iOS and Android. Shout out to DC4L Custom Tees. Remember, OneNationFanwear.com. Enter PJ4F at checkout for free shipping. Again, if you want to donate to the show, if you feel so inclined, $1 a week helps us out. You can click the PayPal link in the description of this show. If you're on YouTube, if not, go to our Twitter or our Instagram or our webpage, pj4f.com. Be sure to listen to our network partners, Ladies of Darkness, the Put on Waivers podcast, East Coast Nation. No Ledge is on hiatus right now, but definitely check out the Inebriation podcast if you're a beer drinker. And just kicked off a few weeks ago, the Blackout podcast with Sean Hildebrandt is an excellent show. Bobby, have you listened to it yet?
Yeah, I have, man. I was waiting for quite a while for him to actually come out, so that's why I was like, not only that too, I was like, hey, I was sitting next to that guy, so I better get a shout out.
Yeah,
which I did.
Yeah, Sean, good dude, man. You guys were like, how did we end up sitting together? I was like, because you were both talking to me about tickets. That's how it happened. And then the Crow's Nest is on hiatus right now, too. And now that we're at the end of the show, I'm going to take just a quick minute to plug myself and Polygon, who you may have heard on the Crow's Nest. We released an album this week. It took us 3 years to get this out, not because we worked on it necessarily for that long. We're just really busy, but we did put a lot of work into this. The name of the group is Modus Ops, MODUS OPS, 2 words, Modus Ops. And the name of the album is Space Heaters with a Z. You can put Modus Ops Space Heaters into any search engine, and we show up on any streaming site. So please check out the album and give us some feedback, man, whether it's an email or on Twitter, DM me, whatever it is. You got my number, text me, call in next week with your feedback on the album. I want to know what it sounds like. There's a lot of bass. It's a heavy hitter, and I think the album sounds great. I'm really happy with the mastering job that we got. I think it sounds good.
It definitely sounds good, man, and it's definitely one of those type of albums that you just gotta sit down and just enjoy the ride. If you know what I mean?
Yeah, and it strings together from one song to the next. So, and it's a quick listen. It's about 38 minutes. It's 11 tracks. It's a LP. It's an EP in LP clothing. I'll say that, but I think it bangs, man. So I'm really proud of it. Make sure you check it out. We also have posters with the album art for sale with some bonus art on the backside. It's a double-sided poster. Get at me if you want one of those. They're $10, and I'll get you one. Until then, keep the wind in your sails and the rum in your mug, and pillage on, Raider Nation. This has been a product of the Crow's Nest Podcast Network. I'm Kenny Stapler, joined this week
by Bobby. What's up?
We out you.
Like a freight train coming